On a small island in the middle of the vast ocean, a high-tech edition Buzz Lightyear action figure squinted in the sunlight. The plastic Space Ranger had awakened from suspended animation to find that he was no longer in his packaging, which lay on the sand nearby. And he wasn't alone. As the spaceman trudged across the beach, he followed a trail of steel-boxed buzzes until at last he came to a massive shipping container that had run ashore. The Space Ranger climbed inside the dark metal box and instinctively pressed a button on his chest that lit up. In response, similar lights began to glow before him. They were coming from even more high-tech edition Buzz Lightyear figures, still slumbering within their packages. Without a word, the first Buzz quickly freed one of his comrades. The two saluted each other, then set to work, opening more boxes. Each new figure joined in, releasing the Buzzes from their packaging until all 50 Space Rangers had been freed. Silently, they searched the island, looking for clues as to where they had landed and why. But apart from some birds and a few crabs, the island was deserted. Soon, the sun descended and night fell, so the Buzzes built a campfire. As they sat around the fire, the glow of the flames reflected in the transparent visors of their space helmets. One of the Buzzes pointed at a particularly bright light in the night sky. "Star," he said. Then another Buzz stared into the heavens and said, Command! The two Buzzes locked eyes with one another. "Star," the first one repeated. "Command," the second replied. The other Buzzes seated around the campfire followed suit, and soon all of them were saying, "Star command." "Rendezvous," one of the Buzzes interjected. "With," said another. "Star command," several Buzzes added. "Rendezvous with Star command," they all chanted. "Rendezvous with Star command. Rendezvous with Star command. Rendezvous with Star command." With their mission now clear, the Space Rangers constructed a raft from various materials they found in the shipping container and on the island. Then, summoning their strength, the Buzzes pushed the raft into the ocean and climbed aboard. "Rendezvous with Star command," they repeated over and over as they paddled their way out to sea, following the glimmering star above them. The tire swing spun slowly in the endless afternoon. Jessie loved watching the tire swing spin, but what she loved even more than that was Emily. Emily was 8 years old, and she was Jessie's kid. With a bright, friendly face full of freckles, the little girl was busy writing something on the inside of Jessie's writing chaps. It was Emily's name and address. "There," she said, looking at Jessie the cowgirl. "This way, I'll never lose you." Emily grinned and pulled a string from Jessie's back. A happy pre-recorded voice yodeled back, "Friends forever, partner." Satisfied, Emily propped Jessie up against the trunk of the large tree and climbed onto the tire swing. "That's right, partner," Emily said. "But don't you worry. I'll keep a good eye on you." Though the swing twisted around, the girl kept all her focus on Jessie. "See, I'm still watching," Emily giggled. Then the tire swing stopped, and her back faced Jessie. "I'm gone," Emily said, teasing her. She turned again, "But I'm back." Emily continued to rotate on the swing as she said, "I'm gone, I'm back. Still see you." Jessie could only watch and listen as she heard Emily say, "Oh no, I'm gone." Jessie blinked the memory away. She was no longer sitting beneath the tire swing, and Emily was no longer there. Instead, there was another 8-year-old girl looking down at the cowgirl as they sat on the grass in front of a yellow house. "And I will love you all the time, even when I'm mad or sad, or leave you outside by accident. I'll still love you forever," the girl said. This was Bonnie, Jessie's new kid. The cowgirl hadn't seen Emily in a very long time. Jessie was Bonnie's now. Pretending to speak for Jessie, Bonnie said. Really? You mean it? Forever and ever and ever and ever. Yep, Bonnie answered in her own voice. All the evers. Bonnie was playing, as she always did. On this particular day, she had decided to have Sheriff Jessie marry two of her other toys, Forky the Spork and Karen Beverly, the plastic knife. Forky's best man was none other than Jessie's pal Buzz Lightyear, with Rex the dinosaur as the maid of honor. Jessie's horse Bullseye and Dolly were attending the wedding as guests. Once more, Bonnie spoke as Jessie. Then do you, Forky, take Karen Beverly to be your beloved bride? I do, Bonnie as Forky said. And do you, Karen Beverly? Bonnie as Jessie asked. I do, Bonnie as Karen Beverly replied. With that, Bonnie pulled the string on Jessie's back. Yee-haw! Came Jessie's pre-recorded response. While Bonnie imagined the scene came to life for the toys, it was a glorious wedding in a none other outdoor gazebo with everyone dressed in the fanciest of clothes. Forky raised Karen Beverly's veil and smiled at his bride. I now pronounce you husband and knife, Jessie said, tossing her hat into the air. Karen Beverly threw her wedding bouquet as she and Forky kissed. Buzz caught the bouquet and watched the happy couple. His gaze drifted over to Jessie, and he smiled. But he quickly looked away, flustered, just as Jessie turned to him with her own warm smile. As Forky pulled away from his bride, he discovered that Karen Beverly's lips were now stuck on to his face. There was no time for anyone to react, though, as Jessie suddenly shouted, Who's poisoned the maid of honor? While eating a piece of wedding cake, Rex clutched his throat and dropped to the floor. The assembled toys gasped, and Jessie threw herself to her knees. Oh, why? She sobbed. Why? Everyone step aside, Buzz said with authority. I know CPR. The wedding guests made room for Buzz, who started to perform chest compressions on Rex, counting out 1, 2, 3. Then he pried open Rex's jaws and said, Now the kiss of life. The wedding guests winced at Buzz, blew noisily into Rex's mouth. Some looked away, but Karen Beverly was enthralled. The toys continued to act out the action-packed scenario that Bonnie imagined, until something else caught the girl's attention. A car pulled into the neighbor's driveway nearby. Jessie couldn't but notice that Bonnie suddenly seemed self-conscious. Bonnie let go of her toys and darted behind the tree where she wouldn't be noticed. But she didn't take her eyes off the car. The toys, still in the midst of play, didn't move. They simply held their poses. But we didn't solve the murder, Rex whispered to his friends. Just hold your horses, Rex, Jessie replied. She turned to Dolly and said, Psst, Dolly, what's going on? Not sure, Dolly said. She had glasses drawn on her face in marker. You know, at first I was mad Bonnie drew these glasses on me, but honestly, I can see so much better now. Dolly, Jessie interrupted. Focus! Oh, sorry, Dolly said, fixing her gaze at the neighbor's driveway. It's the Jordan twins. They're back home. The toys watched as the twins, a boy and a girl, emerged from the car, laughing with each other. Jessie let out a hopeful gasp. She wanted to help Bonnie make friends. When the sheriff glanced over at her girl, though, Jessie's heart broke. Bonnie looked shy. She very much wanted to join the twins, but she was too shy to do anything about it. Poor thing, Buzz whispered. She's still afraid to ask them to play. Not this time, Jessie said, taking matters into her own hands. The cowgirl stealthily rolled toward the gate and pushed herself through the slots in the fence out onto the sidewalk. She pulled her string, and a pre-recorded voice rang out. Giddy up there, time's a-wasting. Bonnie heard the voice and immediately noticed Jessie on the sidewalk. Without thinking, she ran out to grab her favorite toy. Only then did Bonnie realize that she was out in the open. She quickly scooped up Jessie. As she snatched the Jordan twins, she watched walk across the yard toward their house. This was the closest that Bonnie had ever been to them. All she had to do was say hi. "That's it, Bonnie," Buzz whispered from afar. "You can do it," Rex said, cheerfully cheering her on quietly. As Bonnie clutched her cowgirl in her hands, Jessie let her head slump to the side, gently tapping the girl's finger. Looking down, Bonnie saw Jessie's face smiling back at her, as though the doll was encouraging her. The girl swallowed and looked up, just as the Jordan twins stared back at her. Bonnie felt her cheeks turn red with embarrassment. She raised Jessie to her face, hiding behind the doll. Then she waved Jessie's arm, and in a goofy voice she said, "Hello?" The Jordan twins gave Bonnie a confused look and then ran inside the house. The door slammed behind them, leaving Bonnie alone once again. Dejected, Bonnie trudged back to her yard. She picked up her toys, placed them in a milk crate she had used for the wedding ceremony, and dropped it on the front porch before going inside her house. Jessie," Buzz said quietly, "the wedding got me thinking." "Shh," Jessie said. "Something's off." She hadn't looked away from Bonnie, watching the girl through the open front door as the 8-year-old approached her parents, who were seated at the dining room table. Jessie strained to listen. "So, how'd the wedding go?" Bonnie's mom asked. "Who murdered the maid of honor this time?" Bonnie's dad chuckled. "Mom, Dad," Bonnie said, ignoring their questions. "Yeah, sweetie?" her mom replied. "Why won't anyone be my friend?" Jessie couldn't bear to hear it. She glanced at the other toys and saw that they felt it too. Bullseye looked as if he was about to cry. "Oh, Bonnie, come here," her mom said, folding the girl into a hug as Bonnie's dad put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Jessie looked back over at the Jordan twins' house. Determination welled up within her. "Buzz," she said as she peeled off a gold sticker from Karen Beverly and slapped it onto the Space Ranger's chest. "You're deputy till I get back." "Me?" "Right," Buzz said, saluting Jessie. "Watch the toys," Jessie continued. "I'm gonna get those twins to play with Bonnie. Somehow. Come on, Bullseye." The sheriff hopped onto her trusty steed, and Bullseye galloped toward the neighbor's house, making sure they weren't seen. Then Jessie stood on Bullseye's back so she could look through the window. She was shocked to see the twins lying on a couch. Neither was talking to the other. Instead, they were holding screens in their hands, staring at them. "Why, they're both just sitting there doing nothing," Jessie said softly. Bullseye whined. "They aren't playing with toys at all," Jessie said, her temper rising. "What? You didn't hear?" an unfamiliar voice interjected. Jessie looked away from the window and saw what looked like a toy tugboat nestled in some mud near a drain spout. No, I didn't hear," Jessie replied. "She didn't hear," the tugboat repeated. "She didn't hear," echoed a turtle sandbox nearby. "What?" Jessie asked. "What didn't I hear?" "The age of toys is over, lass," the tugboat sighed. This made absolutely no sense to Jessie. "What do you mean, over? When did that happen?" "It's been happening for years," the turtle sandbox explained. "Where have you been?" "Across the street," Jessie said. "Playing." "Playing?" the toys all exclaimed. "You kids still plays?" One toy cried. "I don't remember play," another said. Describe it to me." Jessie's eyes went wide. "Are you guys okay?" she asked, genuinely concerned. "What happened to you?" "Tech," the toys fired back. At once, abandoned toys appeared from all across the yard. A robot, a wind-up toy, a rocket, a drumming rabbit, and more. They told Jessie and Bullseye that devices had kids' attention now. Devices like phones and tablets, computers, cameras. The screens had taken over. All kids did was tap on screens all day long. "Take our advice, darling," the tugboat said. "Find a drawer and hide, 'cause once tech invades your home, you're dead. Where you lie." Jessie couldn't believe it. She wouldn't believe it. It'll probably just be a fad," Jessie said, as if trying to convince herself more than anything. "Like, record players or hula hoops." "You don't get it," the turtle sandbox snapped. The age of toys was over. The toys proclaimed again. They invited Jessie and Bullseye to see for themselves. Steadying her hat defiantly, Jessie and Bullseye scampered onto the roof of the Jordan twins' house. From there, they could look out and see the whole neighborhood. Jessie couldn't believe what she saw. In every window, she saw a kid, and most adults, looking at screens. "Look at 'em all," Jessie said in disbelief. "All on devices." Then, turning toward Bonnie's house, she saw her girl playing with toys. "Except for Bonnie," Jessie said. "No wonder she can't make a friend, Bullseye. Bless her heart, she's the only one out there still playing with toys." Smiling to herself, Jessie looked at a nervous Bullseye and said, "Don't worry, we're safe." Little did Jessie know, Bonnie's mom and dad were eyeing an ad online for something called a lily pad. "Play games, make friends," the ad proclaimed. "Are we sure about this?" Bonnie's mom asked with hesitation. "No," Bonnie's dad replied, "but let's give it a try." Then he clicked the button that said, "Buy." "A lily pad!" Bonnie grinned widely as she removed the green device from its packaging in the living room. The tablet looked like a flat, square, plastic frog. "Oh, thank you," Bonnie said. "Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad." Jessie and Bullseye watched in horror as Bonnie gushed over her new gift. Rex and some of the other toys peeked from behind Bonnie's bedroom door and were just as worried. "Well, I noticed some of the other girls in your dance class had them too," Bonnie's dad explained as a pair of digital frog eyes in the screen blinked to life. A cheerful voice said, "Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Welcome to the pond. You can take today to figure out how to use it," Bonnie's mom said. "But then tomorrow, we'll start having strict screen time." Bonnie barely managed as she became absorbed in the new device. Forgotten, Jessie and Bullseye watched Bonnie play a game on the lily pad. Hours later, they were still watching Bonnie play. Jessie and Bullseye were bored beyond belief, wondering when Bonnie would grow tired of the device and go back to her room for some good old playtime with the toys. But the hours ticked by, and Bonnie kept playing. Jessie couldn't wait for bedtime. Bonnie would have to put the lily pad away then and go to sleep. Except that's not what happened at all. Oh, Bonnie went to bed all right, but she took the lily pad with her. She sat under her sheets playing games while the toys looked on with dismay. When the sun came up, Jessie was frustrated to see that Bonnie was still playing. Had the girl slept at all? "Morning," Bonnie's dad said brightly as he entered the room. "Screen time is over now. Let's put Lily Pad away and come to breakfast." "Okay," Bonnie said, reluctantly letting go of the device. She left it on her bed and ran out of her room, closing the door behind her. Bonnie's toys gathered around Jessie in a panic. They talked over one another, their voices rising and overlapping, and Jessie didn't know who was saying what. "Jumping jelly beans! Wouldn't you all just settle down?" Jessie thundered. "Now I'm going to have some words with this Lily Pad and let her know how things are around here." "Try to stay calm, Jessie," Buzz advised. "Buzz, you know me," the cowgirl replied. "I'm the definition of calm." Buzz did know Jessie, so he knew that she was not the definition of calm. Jessie and Bullseye quietly approached Lily Pad on Bonnie's bed. The device was on her back, her screen completely dark. The sheriff crept closer and was about to tap the screen with her boot when Lily Pad awoke. "Hi," the frog said in an overly cheerful voice, startling Jessie. "Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Sleep mode, you know." Lily Pad waddled across the bed toward an object on Bonnie's bedside table. "Was just gonna hop on the charger," Lily Pad explained. "Battery could use a little refresh." "I want to talk to you, device," Jessie said seriously. "Please, call me Lily," the device replied in a cheery voice. "Now look here, me and the toys have been working all summer to try to get Bonnie to make friends." While Jessie spoke, Lily scrolled down her own screen, distracted. "With the Jordan twins across the street." "Uh-huh," Lily said mindlessly. "But then you had to..." "Yeah, got it." "Run it with all your screen." "Uh-huh." "You're not even listening to me," Jessie exploded. "Oh no, I was listening," Lily said. "I'm always listening." Proving her point, the tablet called up everything Jessie had just said. The words appeared on Lily's screen. "See?" "Now look here," Lily read. "Me and the toys have been working all summer to try to get Bonnie to make friends with the Jordan twins." "Whatever," Jessie said. "You don't understand. Our kid needs to learn how to make friends, and your screen ain't helping." "Look, if it's friends Bonnie needs, consider it done," Lily said. A shrill ping sounded from the device. "There, I just sent a friend request to all the girls in Bonnie's dance class. No need to thank me." Jessie looked around, baffled. "But they're not here." Chuckling, Lily said, "Oh yes, they are, silly. Chelsea, Kara, and even Heidi. They're all here. The parents created a group chat on the pond." Jessie was more confused than ever. "You see, on the pond, while Bonnie's playing my fun learning games, she can also socialize with other kids," Lily explained. "That's why Mom and Dad bought me, to make connections." There came another ping, and the word accepted appeared next to Chelsea's name on Lily's screen. "Voila! Friend made," Lily declared. "Golly Bob howdy," Slinky Dog said. "That Lily Pad made Bonnie a friend in like 15 seconds, Trixie interjected. "I was counting." "What? No," Jessie said flatly. "That ain't a friend. A real friend would actually be here." "Well, that's my point, Jessica," said Lily. Now Jessie was steamed. Bullseye's mouth opened wide. No one called Jessie by that other name. "I think I know more than a green calculator what's best for Bonnie," Jessie fumed. "I got 3 kids worth of know-how. Bonnie, before that, Andy, and before that, Emily." As she said each kid's name, Jessie pointed them out. A B for Bonnie on her boot, and the letters A-N-D-Y on Bullseye's hooves, and Emily's name scribbled on her chaps. "I think that means you're just old," Lily said. The device did a quick search on the internet and discovered that the Jessie, the yodeling cowgirl doll, was released in the 1950s. Yikes! Wow, really old, Lily added. Fine, Jessie said, her temper flaring. We'll wrestle for her. Hee-yah! Jessie threw herself at Lily and started to pound on the device's screen with her fists. Lily didn't even bother fighting back. Come on, wrestle me, you frog-faced faker, Jessie hollered. Whoa, came Lily's reply. That kind of tickles. I'll knock you off the bed. Buzz approached Jessie and said, I thought we were staying calm. That's when Jessie accidentally smacked Buzz in the face. The Space Ranger tried to pull Jessie away from Lily, failed, and got another smack in the face that sent him flying off the bed. The one-sided wrestling match was interrupted by yet another ping. Jessie saw the words, New message from Chelsea on Lily's screen. Suddenly, Bonnie burst into her room. All the toys fell flat, with Jessie flopping on top of Lily. Without a thought, Bonnie brushed Jessie aside and picked up Lily Pad. There was another ping, and Bonnie clicked into a dance girl's chat window with excitement. Chelsea texted, OMG. Kara texted, Bonnie, you got a lily pad. Heidi texted, finally. Chelsea texted, hey, are you free this weekend? An elated, excited Bonnie screamed, Mom, Dad! Seconds later, her parents appear in their doorway, only to find Bonnie bouncing up and down on her bed. What? What's wrong? Bonnie's mom said, worried. Chelsea from dance class invited me to a sleepover this weekend, Bonnie said. Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Please, please, please. Bonnie's mom took the lily pad and read the screen. Turning to Bonnie's dad, she said, well, all right. As long as we talk to Chelsea's parents, I guess it's okay. Sure thing, Bonnie's dad agreed. Yay! Yes, Bonnie cheered. Then, holding Lily, the girl left the room with her parents. When the coast was clear, the toys sat up as Ham said, I got dibs on behind the dresser. Should buy me a few years. Gah, Rex moaned. Extinction! Not again! Bullseye gave Jessie a nervous look, doing her best to make it seem like everything was okay. Jessie forced a smile. Now look, she said, I told you our time ain't over yet. Bonnie still loves us. The toys groaned as they wandered around unconvinced. It's just a phase, Jessie called after them. You'll see. That night, while Bonnie slept, a worried Jessie lay wide awake. She stared at Lily. The device snoozed in a charging cradle, powering up. Jessie knew what she needed to do. Quietly, the cowgirl made her way to the closet and ducked inside. In the middle of a pile of clothes, Jessie found a toy walkie-talkie that had a strip of tape with the letter W written on it stuck onto the side. She hesitated, then pressed the red alert button. The park was quiet this time of night. It would be hours until sunrise, and still a while after that until the first kids would come to play. When the red alert button on the walkie-talkie lit up, the motorcycle daredevil action figure Duke Kaboom was ready to answer the call. He reached over to a remote-controlled car disguised as a skunk and picked up the walkie-talkie. Hello, Kaboom here, over, Duke said. Oh, Duke, came Jessie's voice. Hey there, Red, Duke replied. Long time. Hey, is Woody there? Please hold. Duke hopped onto his motorcycle and drove straight up the side of a tree. Hey, cowboy, Duke shouted for Woody as he dismounted on a branch. But the daredevil found his path blocked by Jessie's old friend Bo Peep and Officer Giggle McDimples. Pump the brakes, Duke, Bo whispered. He's mid-rescue. Duke craned his neck to look toward the upper branches. There he saw Woody reaching for a kite that had become lodged in the tree. Beneath the kite, a small wrestler figure dressed like a peanut dangled from a thin piece of tape. Below, the wrestler was a hungry squirrel. The little mammal stared at the figure and sniffed. "Why go on? Why?" the wrestler sobbed. "Okay," Woody said. "Now, Mr. Nutcase." "Doctor," the wrestler responded, correcting him. "Okay, Dr. Nutcase," Woody said. "On 3, you're going to unstick yourself and drop into my arms." "What's the point?" Dr. Nutcase replied. "It's over for the toys. The screens have won, and now this squirrel's gonna eat me." Woody never took his eyes off the wrestler as he spoke to his 2 plush friends, Ducky and Bunny. "You guys ready?" Woody said softly out of the corner of his mouth. Ducky and Bunny were on a nearby branch, a huge acorn in their hands. They nodded at Woody, giving him the go-ahead. "Just one text," Dr. Nutcase said, becoming more hysterical. "And Trevor totally forgot I was stuck in the tree. We're doomed." "Okay," Woody said. 1, 2... The squirrel crept closer to Dr. Nutcase's eyes, unblinking, nostrils flaring, its whiskers almost tickling the wrestler. "I give up," Dr. Nutcase shouted as he let go of the tape and fell. The brave cowboy caught the wrestler as the squirrel jumped at Woody. "Ah!" the cowboy shouted. "3! Ducky and Bunny threw the acorn. The furry critter leaped past Woody, grabbed the acorn, and disappeared down the side of a tree. "Why?" Dr. Nutcase cried as he clutched onto Woody. "Trevor, why?" I gotcha, Woody said soothingly. "Let me go. I'm yucky," Dr. Nutcase pleaded. But Dr. Nutcase was the one who wouldn't let go. Woody was relieved. The reason he had left Bonnie's room in the first place was to help Bo and her friends rescue lost toys. He grinned, satisfied. Meanwhile, Jessie waited in the dark closet. What was taking so long? Didn't Woody know what red alert meant? Finally, there came a crackle of static over the walkie-talkie. "Hello? Jessie? Hello?" "Woody!" Jessie said, jumping up. "Jessie! Hey! What's going on?" Woody asked as Dr. Nutcase continued clinging to him. "Oh, cursed technology," the wrestler moaned. "We're all just landfill now." "Woody, is it as bad out there for toys as they say it is?" Jessie asked, worried. "Just let go," Bo said as she and her friends attempted to pry Dr. Nutcase off Woody. "Beware the machines," Dr. Nutcase shouted. With a ridiculous amount of struggling, Bo and her companions dislodged Dr. Nutcase from Woody. "Yeah, it's bad," Woody confirmed. "We're finding more and more abandoned toys each day." "Why, are you guys okay?" "Not really," Jessie answered. "Tex invaded our house, too. Her name's Lilypad. Looks like a frog, but really, she's a tech, sucking up all of Bonnie's attention. Making her stare at her screen all day. There's got to be some way to stop it." "I don't know, Jessie," Woody said, concerned. "Toys are for play, but tech, it's for everything." Jessie peered from behind the closet door at the sleeping Bonnie. Then she looked down at the faded signature inside her chaps. "You remember my first kid, Emily?" Jessie asked. "The one I told you about who gave me away?" "Of course I do," Woody said. "It feels that all over again." Jessie sighed. "First we're playing, then the world started changing." Jessie remembered those times like they were yesterday. Spinning on that tire swing one day, then forgotten under a bed the next. "Emily changed," Jessie said wistfully. "And then Emily had left Jessie in a donation box. Just like that, my time with her was over." What are you getting at, Jessie? Woody asked. Well, I lost Emily, Jessie said. Now I'm losing Bonnie to this device. Is it me? Am I just no good at being a toy? Jessie, you're a good toy, her friend said, trying to assure her. I don't know, Jessie wondered. Across the room, Bullseye heard the sound of Jessie's muffled voice coming from the closet, and his ears perked up. Woody, I was trying all summer to make Bonnie a friend. Then the horse saw Buzz, who was looking at himself in a mirror. Okay, Jessie. No, Sheriff, Buzz again. It felt like he was rehearsing something. Sheriff Jessie, I appreciate this promotion, but what I'd really like to promote... No, that's terrible, Buzz said, shaking his head. The Space Ranger pressed the star sticker down on his chest and caught Bullseye's reflection in the mirror. The horse was sniffling the floor, following a trail to the closet, where Jessie was still talking to Woody about Lilypad. She got Bonnie invited to a sleepover in just seconds. Jessie, you know Bonnie better than anyone, Woody said reassuringly. What does your gut say? That it can't be easy. Bonnie won't click with just anyone. She needs to actually meet these girls. She's not like the other kids. Bonnie plays different. As she said it, the words gave Jessie an idea. She needs to play. Jessie, Woody said, confused. You're right, Woody. Toys are for play, and play is how she'll find the right friend. Jessie rose, a newfound confidence bubbling up with her. The age of toys might be over, but I'm going to do something useful before I go, Jessie said. I'm going to that sleepover, and I'm making a real friend for Bonnie. Suddenly, the closet door opened, and Jessie saw Buzz and Bullseye. Jessie, are you okay? Buzz whispered. Buzz, Jessie gasped, flustered as she shoved the walkie-talkie into a shoebox behind her. She didn't realize that the talk button was still on. Woody heard Jessie talking over the walkie-talkie, but there was a lot of static, so he couldn't make out exactly what she said. In the closet, Jessie was feeling embarrassed. What do you think you're doing? She asked Buzz. What are you doing? Buzz replied. I assumed you needed backup. No, I don't need backup, Deputy, the cowgirl snapped. From the other walkie-talkie, Woody could only understand some of what Jessie said, but he was pretty sure he heard her say, need backup, Deputy. Then the signal went out. Bo, now holding a sleeping Dr. Nutcase, looked over at Woody and whispered, What happened? I don't know, Woody said, but you heard Jessie. She needs a deputy. Jessie, Buzz said, sounding unsure as the cowgirl stepped out of the closet. Sorry, Buzz, Jessie said, softening. It's just you surprised me, that's all. I was wondering, Buzz continued. Can this wait? She asked. I'm just got a lot on my mind. Yes, Buzz replied. Jessie placed her hand on the peeling star sticker on Buzz's spacesuit, smoothing down the curled-up edges. Thanks, she said appreciatively. Turning to her horse, Jessie whispered, Come on, Bullseye, I'm going to need your help. Just when Buzz had mustered up the courage to ask Jessie an important question, the sheriff walked away. The newly appointed deputy frowned. Elsewhere, fog settled along a coastline, thick and dense. The night sky was hardly visible as huge cranes unloaded containers from large cargo ships. While workers went about their duties, none of them noticed the small makeshift raft come ashore nearby. Or they did not notice the high-tech Buzz Lightyear action figures that came with it. The Buzzes helped one another as they scrambled over the rocks and made their way to the dock. Peeking their heads up to get to the lay of the land, they had been following the bright star in the night sky. One Space Ranger said, We can't see the stars, Buzz. Too much fog. The leader paused, pondered, and said, We need to find higher ground. After a moment, his eye settled on a towering crane in the distance. It appeared to be occupied. Soon the Space Rangers were scaling the unmanned structure. When they reached the operator's cabin at the top, the Buzzes opened the door. Some scampered inside, while others climbed onto the roof to venture out onto the crane's arm. One at the end of the long arm, the Buzzes began to climb each other's shoulders, one on top of the other, trying to find the highest vantage point possible. But even then, it still wasn't enough for them to pierce the fog. Back inside the operator's cabin, the Buzzes pulled levers and pressed buttons. The long arm moved upward, pushing through the fog. Down below, a night watchman patrolled the docks with a flashlight. He shined the beam on a cargo pallet. Then he heard a sound coming from behind him. Spinning around, the watchman saw what happened to be a driverless crane stretch its long arm out into the mist. On the very tip of the arm, the highest Buzz was at last able to see above the fog. He caught a glimpse of a star in the sky that appeared just above a tree-covered mountain range. Then he and the other Buzzes climbed down from their perch, and the crane arm descended back through the fog. Using cables from the giant machine, the Space Rangers rappelled down, jumped off, and landed on some pallets on the dock below. "Buzz, I have our bearings," said the figure who had seen the star. "East-north." But before he could continue, the watchman appeared, shining his flashlight. All the Buzzes instinctively froze in place, dropping to the ground. Scanning the scattered toys with a beam of light, the watchman sighed. "I'm not cleaning that up." Then he turned and walked away. Once he was gone, the Buzzes sat up and looked at one another, confused. "Why did we," the lead Buzz asked. "Freeze," another Buzz said, completing the sentence. "Fascinating," said another Buzz. Slowly realizing what had just happened, various Buzzes spoke what they somehow understood to be true. "Must avoid humans." "Affirmative!" The Buzzes nodded at one another as they ran past a series of shipping containers, exiting the area to continue their search for Star Command. It was the afternoon of the sleepover, and everyone was excited. Before Bonnie left, Jessie and Bullseye sneaked into the girls' overnight bag. What are you doing?" Lily asked from her charging station. "We are going to check on our friends, these friends for ourselves, and see if there's a real one in the bunch," Jessie replied. "Okay, pause," Lily said. "It is not a good look to bring toys to a sleepover." Jessie didn't like the sound of this and turned toward Buzz for a second opinion. But she caught the Space Ranger off guard. He was down on one knee practicing something. It seemed, but she wasn't sure what. "Deputy Buzz?" she asked. "I do," Buzz blurted out. Make sure that device don't take charge of anything while we're away," Jessie said. Throwing her a salute, Buzz said, "Yes, Sheriff, I'm on it." Then the toys all fell to the floor as they heard Bonnie running toward the room for her bag. "No, Jessie," Lily whispered, "get out of that bag. I'm thinking about what's best for Bonnie." "Well, what do you know?" Jessie retorted. "That's exactly what I'm doing." "Did you pack your toothbrush?" Bonnie's dad asked from the driver's seat. "I think so," Bonnie said, looking inside the bag. She let out a little gasp of surprise as she said, "Aw, thanks, Dad. You packed Jessie and Bullseye." Did I?" her dad replied, not remembering if he had or hadn't. "Well, you're welcome." Bonnie took the dolls out of the bag and set them on the seat beside her. Without Bonnie seeing, Jessie and Bullseye smiled at each other. So far, so good. Soon the car slowed down as Bonnie's dad pulled in the front of Chelsea's house on the corner. Kara and Heidi were already there, hanging outside with Chelsea. Bonnie excitedly jumped out of the vehicle with Jessie and Bullseye in her hands. "Bonnie, you forgot your bag," her dad called as he got out of the car. But Bonnie wasn't thinking about the bag. She had suddenly gotten nervous as she approached her new friends. "Hey, Chelsea," Bonnie said. She noticed that each of the girls had a tablet. "Hey, Bonnie," Chelsea said. Then to Heidi and Kara, "Guys, this is Bonnie." "Hi," the girls said in unison. "And this is Jessie," Bonnie said, holding up the cowgirl doll. Doing her best Jessie imitation, Bonnie said, "I ain't afraid of nothing, partner." An awkward moment of silence followed before Chelsea asked, You still play with toys?" Heidi and Kara started to giggle. Bonnie blushed. She was already nervous. Now she was embarrassed, too. She looked down at the dolls in her hands. No. Be right back," Bonnie said. She sprinted back to the car while her dad was getting out her bag. "Here you go, sweetie," he said, setting the bag down on the ground for her. "Dad, take these," Bonnie urged, handing the dolls to her father. "But I thought you wanted your toys." "Dad, just go," Bonnie replied. Jessie shot Bullseye a quick look. They couldn't just leave Bonnie like this. Next, Bonnie pulled Lily out of her bag. The device caught Jessie's eye, winking at the cowgirl. The sheriff was so confused. What was going on? She and Bullseye looked out the car window as Bonnie ran back to her new friends carrying Lily. "You have the new lily pad?" Chelsea asked, but she didn't stick around for Bonnie's answer. The girls headed inside the house, leaving Bonnie to follow them. "No," Jessie said softly, panic filling her body. Bonnie's dad had started the car and was driving away. She and Bullseye had to do something. Jessie noticed that the car window was cracked open just a bit. She and Bullseye squeezed through the opening, without Bonnie's dad noticing. As the car turned a corner, Jessie and her horse leaped to the ground. They scurried under a parked car next to a shady tree. Jessie stared at Chelsea's house, gazing through the front window. She was barely able to see the girls from beneath the car. "Bullseye, we gotta get in there," Jessie said. Jessie scaled the tree, moving out onto one of the lower branches. She continued to move along the branch until she could see inside Chelsea's house. As she feared, there were no toys, just devices, and a nervous Bonnie hovering over the shoulder of one of the girls, sneaking a glance at her device until the girls gave Bonnie a cold look. The cowgirl watched Bonnie start to play on Lily, focusing her attention on her device just like the other girls were. It was like they were all zombies. No, this is all wrong," Jessie groaned. "How's she supposed to make friends if she ain't even looking at each other?" Bullseye had managed to find his way out onto the branch next to Jessie, but that horse's added weight caused the branch to break with a loud crack. The two friends fell to the sidewalk below. Just then, an older couple approached the parked car. Jessie and Bullseye immediately froze, going limp. "Oh no," the woman said, noticing them. "Somebody lost their toys." "What's that?" the man asked. "I said," the woman spoke up, "somebody lost their toys." The older couple picked up Jessie and Bullseye to inspect the toys and found the writing on the back of Jessie's chaps. "They belong to an Emily," the woman said. "Oh, and there's an address. That's not too far from here. We can just drop them off." The next thing they knew, Jessie and Bullseye were in a car, nestled inside an open purse, and sat between the woman and a man. Jessie stared out the window as they drove, her eyes darting back and forth nervously. Before they could escape, the car arrived at their destination. The woman gently placed the dolls inside the mailbox and closed the lid, and then the couple drove off. Jessie kicked open the mailbox and looked around. She saw a house nearby. Emily's house. There was a barn, too, and a field next to it that led to a tire swing hill. Beyond that, Jessie saw the city that had been left behind. "We gotta get back to Bonnie," Jessie said, and promptly jumped down from the mailbox, hit the ground, and ran. "Come on, Bullseye." The pair entered a field of tall grass. Jessie tripped on something. Falling to the ground, she and Bullseye saw a large divot before them. It was a horse hoof print. Before they could react, a giant horse trotted over Jessie and Bullseye flopped down. The horse noticed Jessie and gave the doll a nudge with its long muzzle. The cowgirl gripped the horse's chin as the animal stood up. Bullseye jumped on the horse's snout, and he and Jessie were hoisted into the air. "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" Jessie shouted as the two climbed up between the horse's ears. Jessie then glanced back at the city. "I'm gonna speak critter, and we'll ride this horse home. We're coming, Bonnie! Yee-haw!" Jessie and Bullseye held on tightly as the horse galloped toward the stable. "Wrong way, horsey!" Jessie shouted. "Whoa!" The horse ran inside the stable, and there was a loud crash. Jessie was thrown from the horse and trapped beneath large bales of hay. "Bullseye?" Jessie called. She looked across the barn and saw him and the giant horse. Both were shaking off the crash as they got back on their hooves. "Oh, thank goodness, Bullseye," Jessie said with relief. "Come here, help me." Suddenly there came an unfamiliar voice from outside. "Daffodil?" Bullseye fell to the ground as a girl entered the barn. Jessie wondered, could this be Emily? "Geez, are you all right?" the girl asked her horse. Jessie got a good look at the girl as she stepped out of the shadows. She had dark curly hair and purple cowboy boots. It wasn't Emily. "Did something spook you?" the girl said to her horse. "Let's get you back in your stall." The new kid left Daffodil to the stall and gave the animal a carrot. With the horse settled, the girl turned to leave the barn. She almost stepped on something. "Where'd you come from?" she asked, picking up Bullseye. Then she said, "Oh, he's perfect." The girl hadn't seen Jessie yet, who was still stuck underneath the bales of hay. The sheriff watched the girl leave the barn with Bullseye and walk across the field towards Emily's old house. Back in Bonnie's room, Buzz had posed Forky and Karen Beverly in just the right spot. "And how exactly will this help us get Bonnie's attention?" Mr. Potato Head asked. "Well, when they come back from the sleepover, she'll enter the room, see Forky and Karen Beverly, and remember the wedding," Buzz said, matter-of-factly. Dolly, Mrs. Potato Head, and Trixie all exchanged a look. "We're all talking about Bonnie, right?" Dolly asked. "And not Jessie?" Trixie added. An embarrassed Buzz said, "Huh? Of course Bonnie. Just Bonnie." Rex joined the group. "Hey, what's everyone talking about?" "Buzz is going to propose to Jessie," Mrs. Potato Head declared. "Propose?" Rex shrieked, astonished. "Now, wait, a flustered Buzz replied. "I didn't say that." "You didn't not say it either," Trixie pointed out. Forky looked at Buzz and raised his hand. "Question, is Woody going to perform the wedding ceremony?" "Woody? I haven't thought that far in advance, Forky," Buzz admitted. "Okay," Forky said. "Then why is Woody at the window?" Everyone turned to see Woody waving from Bonnie's open window. The toys ran over as Bo Peep appeared next to Woody. "Hey, everybody," Bo Peep called. "Howdy, folks," Woody added. "Coast clear?" "The stage is yours, my friend," Mr. Pricklepants said with a flare. Woody jumped down from the window. Entering Bonnie's room, the toys ran over to greet the cowboy, but they stopped short when they saw that Woody was wearing a poncho. "What are you wearing, a dress, Woody?" Forky asked. "It's called a poncho, Forky. Thought I'd change it up," the cowboy explained, adjusting the garment fashioned from a bandana. "Well, Bo likes it." Though Woody didn't see it, Bo stood behind him, shaking her head. "It's good to be back," Woody said, smiling at his friends and removing his hat. The other toys were surprised to see a bald spot on his head. "Someone needs a brown marker," Trixie muttered, and Dolly agreed. Woody took off the poncho, and the toys could see that some of his stuffing had settled in his middle, too. Surveying the area, Woody caught sight of the terrarium in Bonnie's room and the salamander inside. The reptile blinked and Woody grinned. "I see Sammy got bigger," he said. "Oh, that's Sammy number 2, Slinky Dog explained. "No," Woody replied. "Yeah," the toy said sadly. "Poor Samuel," Mr. Pricklepants sighed. Suddenly, a glowing red dot appeared on Woody's forehead. "Halt!" came a voice. "Who goes there?" Woody smiled as Buzz stepped toward him, pointing his laser at the cowboy. Playing along, Woody raised his arms. "Whoa, whoa, 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 sorry," the cowboy said. "My name is Woody. I come in peace. Used to live here." Buzz and Woody smiled at each other, shook hands, and then hugged. "It's been too long, cowboy," Buzz said. "How have you been?" Busy," Woody replied. "Came here as fast as I could after Jessie called for help." "She called you?" Buzz asked, caught off guard. Then the Space Ranger added, "But I'm her deputy," just as Woody said, "Yeah, I'm her deputy." The two friends tried to make sense of the situation. "Well, no offense, Woody," Buzzy started. "None taken, none taken. But she literally deputized me, the Space Ranger," Buzz explained, pointing at the peeling star on his chest. "Star, deputy, me." Then pointing at Woody, Buzz added, "You, no star." I gotcha, Woody said. "Star," Buzz said again, pointing to himself. Then he pointed back at Woody. "No star." Quickly, Woody pointed behind his friend and said, "Oh, hey, Buzz, what is that?" "What, where?" the Space Ranger said anxiously. When Buzz turned around, Woody tore a star sticker from Karen Beverly and stuck it on his own chest. "Ow," Karen Beverly said. When Buzz turned and saw the star on Woody, he said, "Hey, wait." "What?" "Just happy to help, deputy," Woody said, slyly slapping Buzz on the back. Bo sighed. "Call me when you're done helping, dear." She hopped off the windowsill and returned to her skunkmobile outside. Back inside the room, Woody looked at the toys and said, "Where is Jessie anyway?" "Sleepover reconnaissance," Buzz explained. "We've got it handled, cowboy." "Oh, I'm just asking." "Yeah, she and Bullseye are helping Bonnie make friends," Dolly said happily, while fending off the nefarious lily pad, Mr. Pickle Prance offered. "Right," Woody said grimly. "The device." "Chin up, cowboy," Buzz said, noting Woody's concern. "As her deputy, I'm certain Jessie's resting on a comfy pillow right now, making all the difference for Bonnie." Jessie had struggled for hours, trying to get out from under the hay bales in the barn. She stared into the night toward Emily's old house as Daffodil snorted in a stall nearby. "You're no help," she said to the horse. Then it came to her. "Help! You can help me get out of here," the cowgirl called. "Come here, come on, Daffodil." Yeah, come here." The horse tilted her head and looked at Jessie. "Come on, baby," Jessie said excitedly. This might actually work. There was a moment of silence, and then the pen next to Daffodil's burst open and something charged toward Jessie. But it wasn't a horse, it was a pig. Jessie winced as this large animal stopped just short of smashing into her. Nice pig," Jessie said as the pig snorted. "I guess you'll have to do." Glancing over at the pig's pen, Jessie saw a nameplate. "Jimmy Dean?" she read out loud. The pig snorted again. "That's your name, Jimmy Dean?" Two enthusiastic snorts followed. "Take me to the house." The pig began digging Jessie out from under the hay bales. "Golly gee willikers, it's working," Jessie exclaimed. The pig clamped his mouth on Jessie and pulled her out before carrying her outside the barn. "Hey! Wah!" Jessie gulped. "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Yes! Good pig, good." The pig trotted past the house. "No," Jessie said. "Bad pig. Wrong way, Jimmy." The pig proceeded to a dark, prickly thicket. Inside, Jessie saw an old vine-covered playhouse. "No, wrong house, Jimmy," Jessie said. Jimmy Dean approached the structure and stuck his head through a black hole above a door. He opened his mouth and dropped Jessie inside. She heard the pig collapse to the ground outside and start to snore. Jessie tried to leave, but the door wouldn't budge, with Jimmy Dean asleep against it. "Blaze?" someone asked. The unknown voice gave Jessie a start, and she whirled around in the darkness. Somebody else was there. Somebody moved, and she realized it wasn't just somebody else. It was a whole bunch of somebody else's. As her eyes adjusted to the dark, Jessie saw an odd assortment of old toys. Everything from a giraffe-shaped xylophone to a garden gnome with a crack in it, to a slice of plastic pizza with sunglasses, to a weather-beaten stuffed cow, to an inflatable flamingo that was half deflated. They all sat around a table as if attending a child's tea party, unmoving. And then there was a Combat Carl action figure wearing a tutu and holding a teacup. The toys looked at Jessie and groaned. "False alarm, everyone," Combat Carl sighed. Hi there," Jessie said, more confused than anything. "Oh," Combat Carl replied, "apologies. Where are Combat Carl's manners? Welcome. Please take a seat." "Oh, no, thank you, though," Jessie said politely. "I've gotta get home." No, sit," the action figure urged. "Combat Carl insists." No, please sit," the garden gnome added. Okay," Jessie said as she started to sit in an empty, child-sized plastic chair. But the toy shouted, No, not there." "Sorry," Jessie shouted. "I'm sorry." "Any chair but that one," the garden gnome exclaimed. Jessie moved aside and sat down in a smaller chair. "Who sits there?" she asked. "Blaze," all the toys answered. "Blaze?" Jessie said. "You mean the girl I saw in the barn? She's your kid?" "Isn't she swell?" the flamingo sighed with obvious admiration. "She loves tea parties," the garden gnome explained. "And telling all of our secrets," the pizza slice added. "That's right, pizza with sunglasses," Combat Carl affirmed. Then he raised his teacup and said, "Two Blazes return." "Two Blazes return," the toys cheered, toasting Blaze with their empty teacups. How long has it been since your Blaze last had tea?" Jessie asked. "Things were never really the same once he arrived," Combat Carl said cryptically. "He?" "Smarty Pants," Combat Carl spat. "Blaze's first device." "You're sitting on him," the garden gnome said. "What?" Jessie asked. "Holy butterscotch!" She thought she had been sitting on a chair, but it was really a device. Caked in dirt, the object resembled a roll of toilet paper. The cowgirl hopped off. Accidentally pressing one of the buttons, the device exited sleep mode. Its screen flickered on, and loud music began to play. The toys in the shed moaned as Smarty Pants stood up. "Why, hello there," a happy voice announced from Smarty Pants speakers. "Pick a number." "Make it stop," the garden gnome said, quivering. "Is it number 1 or number 2? The happy voice said. Then it cut out, and a much slower, confused-sounding voice emerged from Smarty Pants. Whoa, wait a minute. This isn't the bathroom. How long have I been off?" "Shut up, chair," the garden gnome jeered. "Turn him off," Combat Carl pleaded. Smarty Pants collapsed into Jessie's arms. She struggled to hold up the device. "Who's this little old tiny grandma lady?" Smarty Pants wondered. "Gosh, what is wrong with him?" Jessie asked. "Low batteries," Combat Carl answered. Jessie looked at Smarty Pants and saw a logo from Eggman Electronics. She had seen that logo before. On Lily. "You're one of those pawn devices," Jessie sneered. Already have to put up with a lily pad back home. The cowgirl pushed Smarty Pants away, stopped toward the shed door, and tried to open it. I don't have time for this, Jessie said, struggling with the door. Your Blaze took my horse into the house, and we've got to get back to our own kid. Wait, Smarty Pants said. You're going inside? Take me with you, please. Not a chance, the cowgirl responded, but Smarty Pants wasn't giving up so easily. I'll do whatever you want. You need help pushing? I'm great with pushing. Then the device's happy pre-recorded voice came back on. You can do it. You can do it. Like a choo-choo, you can. Jessie quickly reached out and pressed Smarty Pants' play and pause button, and the song thankfully stopped. No! How about you just wait here with your friends and spend another second with Corporal No Pants? The device retorted. I'm coming with you, cowgirl. No way. Nuh-uh. Your kind's caused me enough trouble. Smarty Pants glared at Jessie, offended. My kind? While Jessie faced off against Smarty Pants, she heard the voices of the various shed toys chime in, saying, Please, take him. All he's good for is chair, Combat Carl shouted. I'm not a chair, Smarty Pants said, defending himself. I'm a potty trainer. Show some respect. Jessie tried to ignore Smarty Pants, but it was no use. Okay, listen, Raggedy Ann, Smarty Pants said confidently. All these losers are outdoor toys. I'm the only one who's done time inside. You want to find a horse? I know exactly where Blaze put him, okay? You need me. She hated to admit it, but Smarty Pants was probably right. The cowgirl relented and pounded on the door, yelling, Move, Jimmy Dean, move! At last, the pig snorted himself awake. The animal stood up and walked away. Jessie and Smarty Pants exited the playhouse as the sun rose. The sheriff strapped Smarty Pants to her back with another old toy, a blue sticky hand. It wasn't ideal, but sticky hand was, well, pretty sticky. It made it easier for Jessie to haul the heavy device around in his low battery state. She started toward Blaze's house as the other toys watched. Once Jessie and Smarty Pants were out of the hearing distance, the garden gnome turned to Combat Carl and said, Quick, lock the door before they change their minds. Copy that, Combat Carl said, slamming the door. Blaze, I'm going out. Be back in an hour. Okay, Mom, the girl hollered back. Blaze's mom left through the back door, but she didn't see the small sticky hand that prevented the door from closing or Jessie with Smarty Pants strapped to her back. They stepped through the door and into the kitchen unnoticed. Get Bullseye, get out! Get Bullseye, get out! Jessie repeated under her breath. Hey, cowgirl, Smarty Pants said woozily. Jessie shushed the device. Just as Blaze's mom returned unexpectedly, the cowgirl froze and fell face first into an animal's water bowl. Oops, forgot my keys, Blaze's mom said, grabbing them and heading out once more. Jessie picked herself up and saw the name on the side of the bowl, Jimmy Dean. She had fallen into the pig's water bowl. Gross. I really don't feel so good, Smarty Pants said with a burp. I think I'm going to reboot. Smarty Pants' song started to play. Because his battery was so low, the music sounded garbled, but it was still loud. Jessie panicked. She couldn't reach him on her back to turn off the song, so spying the living room up ahead, she fell back onto what looked like a pillowy dog bed to smother the music. At last, the muffled sound of a flushing toilet signaled the song's end, so the cowgirl sat up and untied herself from the device. Jessie took a deep breath and let the situation sink in. She was in Emily's old house, Jessie's very first home. This is where it all started, Jessie said. Smarty Pants saw a bathroom nearby and sighed with nostalgia. He was back home, too. Jessie looked around the house and saw different furniture, different pictures on the walls, different everything. She turned to see Smarty Pants fall back, his battery now dangerously low. Smarty, no, I have to find Bullseye, Jessie said. Wake up! Need more juice, he barely replied. Okay, where are the batteries? Jessie stammered. Bottom drawer next to stamps. Smarty Pants glanced at a built-in cabinet below the stairs, then passed out. Jessie pulled open the drawer and searched for batteries. She was shocked at the number of old devices that had been crammed into the drawer. The cowgirl found the batteries and replaced Smarty Pants' old ones. Then, like he had been struck by lightning, Smarty Pants came back to life. Why, hello there, a pre-recorded message rang out. Pick a number. Is it number 1? Or, whoa, I feel great. Shh. No, Jessie scolded. We are not doing this now. We're not now. Cut it out. Look at me, Smarty Pants laughed, ignoring Jessie. Yes, I am back. Smarty Pants hopped up to the drawer and looked inside. He saw a camera and what looked like a little toy hippo. Snappy, Atlas, they're still here, Smarty Pants said. Oh, bossy cowgirl, we have to turn them back on. No way, Jessie declared. The last thing this world would need is more devices. She started to close the drawer. Then Smarty Pants said, Whoa, what? You're just going to shove them back into the dark forever? Do you have any idea what that's like? Jessie stopped closing the drawer. She thought for a moment and sighed. She knew exactly what it was like. Fine, Jessie said reluctantly. We got to make this quick. Ha, yes! Smarty Pants exchanged a high five with Sticky Hand and played a cheerful little jingle as he sang, Number 1, you made number... An impatient Jessie gave Smarty Pants' music on and off switch a kick and stopped the sound. The two loaded fresh brownies into the camera and the hippo turned them on. Atlas! Snappy! Smarty Pants cried. Smarty, is that really you? Atlas asked. He was a GPS-enabled hippo map toy. Smarty, oh my goodness, you look great. Snappy the camera gushed. It's really me, Smarty Pants cheered. Yes, the Double A team is back. Mom brought us inside after the tantrum Blaze had, and we never saw you again, Atlas explained sadly. So, tell me, Smarty Pants said. What'd I miss? Though Jessie didn't want to admit it, there was something about seeing Smarty Pants reunite with Atlas and Snappy that warmed her heart. Snappy turned around and began displaying a slideshow of photographs of a very young Blaze on her screen to everyone. They were from some of the years that Smarty had missed. The trio flipped through the photos of Blaze for a bit until finally Atlas said, Next, it was just a spinning rainbow wheel, then darkness. My entire SD card flashed before my eyes, Snappy added. Okay, Jessie interrupted, trying to keep things moving. I'm glad you're all powered up and stuff, but we're wasting time. I don't got no time. Oh, guys, this is pushy cowgirl Jessie, Smarty Pants said. She claims to be a sheriff. Just go with it. Blaze has her house. Bonsai and Bullseye, Jessie corrected him, annoyed. And I gotta get us back to our kid, Bonnie, now. She needs us, so... Where is Smarty? All right, okay, Smarty Pants replied. I said I'd tell you, so I'll tell you. He's probably in the bedroom. Probably in the bedroom, Jessie snapped. I could have guessed that. And yet you did not, Dusty, Smarty Pants retorted. Dusty? Yeah, you know, like ancient, elderly, mummified, old fart, or as I like to call it, a number 1.5, Smarty Pants quipped, laughing at his own joke. Uh-oh, wait, Snappy said excitedly. I just had an idea that could make me help you get to Bonnie. What? Jessie hollered, her temper flaring. Well, it's just a little technical. The camera stared and started to explain. But if the three of us link up, we could send No, 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 Jessie protested. I am done with this techno mumbo-jumbo. No offense, but I'll be fine getting back on my own. Jessie stormed towards the stairs, leaving the 3 devices behind. Offense taken, Smarty Pants shouted after her. Blaze's dad sat in his office with headphones on, staring at a virtual meeting on his computer screen. He didn't see the cowgirl doll creep past the open door. Jessie, stuck to the wall, her eyes focused on Blaze's bedroom. She took another step forward, then heard a strange clunking sound. Behind her, Smarty Pants, Atlas, and Snappy were trying to climb up the stairs. The tech trio were connected to one another with USB cords. "Cheese and crackers," Jessie said in a hushed voice. "What are you doing? Get back." "You're not the only one who misses their kid, okay?" Smarty Pants whispered. "Now help us, Hup." Jessie rolled her eyes. This was not at all part of her plan, which, admittedly, she was making up as she went along. But she hurried back to the stairs and pulled up the devices. Then a door slammed downstairs. "Blaze, I'm home." "Hey, Mom," Blaze shouted back from nearby. Jessie quickly hid the devices inside a potted plant as the bathroom door next to them opened. Blaze stood at the sink, washing her hands. "Wait a second," Smarty Pants whispered. Is that big girl Blaze?" Snappy added softly. "She's changed so much," Atlas said wistfully. The bathroom toilet flushed and Blaze dashed past the potted plant and down the stairs. "Is she here yet?" Blaze asked her mom. "Not yet. Why don't you try messaging her?" Blaze's mom suggested. Smarty Pants continued to stare at the bathroom, astonished as he said, She did it without me." Jessie refused to wait another second. She broke from the group and sneaked inside Blaze's bedroom. The cowgirl hesitated at the sight of a preteen girl's room. There was makeup, a laptop covered in stickers, and several trophies. The room gave Jessie flashbacks of Emily. Behind her, the tech trio waddled in, overwhelmed by the sight, too. "Whoa," Atlas said in awe. "It's so pretty." "And so clean," Snappy added. "When did she become neat?" Smarty Pants marveled. "I can see the floor," Atlas declared. "I can see me in the floor," Snappy exclaimed. "It smells like vanilla," Smarty Pants announced. "With hints of brown sugar," Atlas noted. "You know who I don't miss?" Smarty Pants said, reminiscing. "That stuffed whale," Snappy guessed. "Oh, what was his name?" Atlas said. As it turned out, the whale was named Spouty, and the 3 devices agreed that he was the worst. While they talked, Jessie glanced under the bed, remembering back when she herself had lain there, forgotten by a preteen Emily. "Seriously, how much have we missed?" Atlas wondered. "Everything," Jessie said, in her voice nearly cracking. "Your Blaze ain't the kid you remember anymore." "How would you know?" Snappy asked. "I've seen it all this before," Jessie explained. "Spent a lot of years under the bed, watching my first kid grow up without me. She turned her chaps over so they could see Emily's name and address." "Hey, that's our address," Atlas remarked as Smarty Pants gave Jessie a doubting look. "How old is Blaze anyway?" Jessie asked. 9, 10? Her room looks like a teenager." "She's 9.5, thank you very much," Snappy corrected her. "It's 'cause you devices make 'em change so fast," Jessie complained. "I gotta get back. So where's—" As if on cue, Jessie heard the sound of a horse whining from above. The cowgirl looked up and saw a collection of model horses on some shelves. At the very end of the line was Bullseye, waving a hoof at Jessie and pointing at his new friends. "Bullseye, thank goodness," the cowgirl sighed. "They seem nice, but we have to go now." Wait, Smarty Pants interrupted. "So you're saying this was your room too?" Really? What, you calling me a liar? Jessie replied defensively. No, yeah, liar, Smarty Pants said, jabbing. Jessie got right up in Smarty Pants' screen and rattled off facts as proof. There's a knot in the ceiling. Looks like an angry eye when you squint at it. Window's got a small crack like a spider in the upper right-hand corner. And every summer afternoon, Emily and I would play out at the old tire swing hill. Then Jessie shouted, Now, Bullseye, let's go. Bullseye hugged the model horses goodbye. Jessie was already at the door when her horse jumped to the floor and ran after the cowgirl. You're welcome, Smarty Pants yelled, his voice heavy with sarcasm. Jessie whirled on her heels and barked, For what? Calling me old and a liar? You didn't help me at all. You were... What? Go on, Smarty Pants urged defiantly. Say it. Useless, she said. Smarty Pants didn't react, but the words must have hurt. How could they not? For a moment, no one said anything. At last, the silence was broken by the sounds of snorting. Oh no, not the pig, Smarty Pants whispered. The tech trio bolted for the closet while Jessie and Bullseye hid under Blaze's desk, just as the girl burst into the room wearing headphones, listening to loud music, with Jimmy Dean right behind her. Jessie was transfixed by Blaze, who freely danced around her room and sang her head off. Blaze picked up her laptop and held an imaginary microphone in front of her pig as she bellowed, Lay it on me, Jimmy Dean. The pig snorted. Who's coming? Sally's coming, Blaze sang. Jessie laughed, surprising herself. Something about Blaze made her smile. The girl flopped onto her bed with the computer and typed a message to Sally, asking when she would arrive. Yeah, Blaze continued excitedly. She's coming to my house. But when Sally wrote back, she said that she wasn't coming over after all. She had forgotten about their plans. Jessie and Bullseye watched Blaze's grin fade as she shut the laptop and slid from her bed down to the floor, tears in her eyes. As if sensing her sadness, Jimmy Dean waddled over to Blaze. You'll be my friend, right, Jimmy? The girl sniffled. Blaze gently placed her hands on Jimmy's lips to make the pig talk. Always, Blaze said in a silly voice, speaking as Jimmy. By the way, your hair looks so good today. Thank you, Jimmy, Blaze replied to herself. While Jessie watched Blaze, she was struck by a realization. She had just found exactly what she was searching for. She's perfect, Jessie said to Bullseye. We gotta get Blaze to meet Bonnie. Meanwhile, a miserable Bonnie was dragging her bag back into her house. Her gray hoodie pulled so tight, her face barely showed. Hi, hon. How was the sleepover? Bonnie's mom asked from the living room. I don't want to talk about it, Bonnie answered. Why? What happened? Said her mom. Nothing, the girl replied. Her dad watched, concerned, as Bonnie trudged toward her room. The toys gathered to witness their girl's return through a crack in her bedroom door. That doesn't sound good, Woody said. I don't see Jessie, Buzz observed. Calm down, Mr. Potato Head said, teasing him. Your fiancé's coming. Woody gave Buzz a surprised look. Fiancé? Buzz Lightyear? You never told me. Yeah, I know, Trixie interjected. Isn't it exciting? So romantic, Mrs. Potato Head added. Buzz gave Mr. Potato Head a sharp look and said, Well, it's not official yet. I have to, ask her. Suddenly, Dolly called out, Guys, places, Bonnie's coming. The toys raced around the room, finding their spots. Buzz and Woody hid under the bed, along with Ham and Dolly. Just as Bonnie entered her room, her mom was beside her, still asking questions. Did you make some friends? I guess so, Bonnie said glumly. She looks awful, a worried Woody whispered. Does anyone see Jessie? Buzz asked nervously. Bonnie opened her bag, removed Lily, and set her on the charging dock on the table next to the bed. "So that's Lily Pad," Woody remarked. Bonnie's mom offered to make her daughter a snack, and Bonnie readily accepted. The two left, slamming the door behind them. "Jessie?" Buzz called as he searched inside the roller bag. Neither cowgirl nor horse were there. He looked up at Lily and hollered, "Where's Jessie? Where's Bullseye?" "I'm a little busy here, lover boy," a distracted Lily said, scrolling her screen looking for a software update. "Turtle tag. There it is." "What on earth happened at that sleepover?" Woody asked. "Excuse me, what are you?" Lily replied with disdain. "Are you like some sort of old man toy?" "What?" Woody questioned. "Where is Jessie?" Buzz demanded. "What happened to Bonnie?" Woody added. "She looks miserable." Slowly, Lily confessed. The girls may have played hide and seek and forgotten to find Bonnie." "How would you let that happen?" Woody shouted. "I didn't," Lily replied, defending herself. "You toys did this. These girls have been on the pond for over a year, but Bonnie's behind. And why? Because of all the time she's been playing with you." The toys were silent. "We need to bring her up to speed fast," Lily continued. "Starting with Turtle Tag, it's the quickest way for her to connect with the girls." Lily showed her screen to the toys. It featured a high score chart for the game. Chelsea's, Heidi's, and Kara's names were all listed. "I'm only going to ask you one more time, Frog," Buzz threatened. "Where is Jessie?" "Don't know. Not my problem," Lily concluded. "I'm very busy." "That's it," Woody said. "We'll make her talk." Buzz and Woody climbed over each other in an attempt to reach Lily on her charging dock. "Where's Jessie?" Buzz demanded, poking at the screen. "Okay, you toys are out of here," Lily declared as little windows on her screen began to open and words appeared as Lily typed. She also slid her volume bar all the way up to the top. "Wait, she's doing something," Woody said, worried. "Buzz, you're a space toy. What's she doing?" "I don't know, but it looks complicated and it scares me." "So long, toys," Lily said with finality as she sounded an alarm. A panicked Buzz swiped at the screen, trying to stop Lily, but his plastic fingers had no effect. "She's coming!" Dolly hollered. Immediately, the toys resumed their positions as a sad Bonnie returned to her room. With everyone distracted, Lily quickly typed a text message to Bonnie's dad as Bonnie telling him that she had some toys she wanted him to take to the garage. A moment later, Bonnie's dad appeared in her doorway, holding an empty box. He saw his daughter sitting on her bed, playing on Lily Pad. "You sure you want me to take these toys?" he asked. "Uh-huh," Bonnie said, not really paying attention. "Your wish is my command." Bonnie didn't even look up as he gathered all the toys, except for Buzz and Woody, who hid under the bed. Then he headed to the garage and placed the box of toys on a shelf. The bedroom was quiet, aside from the random peeps coming from Lily as Bonnie played another game of Turtle Tag. Lily smiled with her digital eyes as her pre-recorded message said, "Playing with you is fun." Beneath the bed, Buzz and Woody fumed. "Nice work, Deputy," Buzz said sarcastically. "Me? I'm not the one who poked the frog, Deputy," Woody fired back. "I promised Jessie I wouldn't let that thing take charge of the room, and because of you—" Wait, Woody said. "Wait a minute. Take charge?" "I will if you let me." No, Buzz, that's it." Woody looked out from underneath the bed and waved a hand at Bonnie. The girl was completely engrossed in her game, and she didn't even notice him. The cowboy moved stealthily toward the power cord connecting Lily's charging dock with the electrical socket on the wall, and he unplugged it. "Tomorrow morning, everyone will wake up fully recharged, except Lily Pad," Woody said, grinning. "And then we'll make Lily tell us where's Jessie." Buzz asked, worried. That night, Blaze fell asleep in her bed, watching a movie on her laptop. Jessie emerged from under the desk. She and Bullseye walked over to the closet where they saw the glowing screens of the tech trio inside. Psst, hey, Jessie whispered. It's okay, Smarty Pants said. Just ignore her. Look, she added. Camera, you. It's Snappy, the camera corrected her. Jessie sighed. Right, Snappy. You said there was a way you could help us get to Bonnie, right? So what is it? She did say that, didn't she? Smarty Pants remarked through the door. That sounds, I don't know. Useful? Snappy offered. Hey, that's it. Yeah, Smarty Pants said in a mocking voice. That sounds so useful of us. Too bad we're useless. Bullseye gave Jessie a knowing look. I'm sorry I called you useless, Jessie murmured. You three are definitely of use somehow. Worst apology ever, Snappy grumbled. Just awful, Atlas agreed. Now I want an apology for that apology, Smarty Pants said. Please, Jessie sighed. I know I messed up. I was wrong about your kid Blaze. She's real special, in a way other kids don't really get. Am I right? After a moment of silence, the door opened. Go on, Smarty Pants said. Well, our kids like that too, Jessie explained as she and Bullseye entered the closet. And I think they'd really like each other, so fine. If you don't want to help me, let's just help our kids. The devices looked at each other and agreed. Great, Jessie whispered. So how do we connect them? You said your kid's device was on the pond, like me, right? Smarty Pants asked. So Smarty, Atlas and I are all compatible, see? Snappy added. I could take a picture of you, okay? Act like a toy. Oh yeah, you mean like this? Jessie said as she and Bullseye struck their best frozen toy pose. Snappy took a picture and showed it to the cowgirl and the horse. And Atlas can add text to it, Snappy said. Atlas typed, found toys and contact horse girl on the photo. And then, whoosh, we posted on the pond, Snappy concluded. Where Bonnie is, Atlas added. All at once, the devices said, ta-da! Great, Jessie said, jumping up. So you sent it? Nope, still going, Smarty Pants replied. Jessie waited impatiently, then said, how about now? Still going. Still going? How's that possible? Look at my eyes, Smarty Pants said. The little toilet roll is still spinning. I'm only as fast as my operating system, so just slow your roll, all right? After what seemed like forever, Smarty Pants made a flushing sound and the words message sent popped up on his screen. Finally, Jessie replied. Now what? Now we wait, Smarty Pants said. It was night after all, and Bonnie would be asleep. She wouldn't see the post till morning. Jessie sighed and sat down with Bullseye in the closet. Smarty Pants picked up on Jessie's distress. Hey, I know. We could play a game, he suggested. A game? Jessie asked. Yeah, it was Blaze's favorite. It's called Pick the Poop. The cowgirl watched as a flashing poop icon popped up on Smarty Pants' screen, shifting back and forth above the number 1 and number 2 buttons. You try and hit the button when the poop shows up over it, Smarty Pants explained. I will never play that game, Jessie insisted. Smarty Pants chuckled. They all say that. At a campsite near the edge of a pond, two siblings argued over the high-tech Buzz Lightyear figure they had found. It's my turn, the older sister said as she attempted to take the Space Ranger from her younger brother. Okay, you two, their mother called from inside a tent. Time to stop playing with your new toy. It's bedtime. A campfire burned nearby. It was almost extinguished. In the quiet darkness, the squadron of Buzzes emerged from the pond, doused the last embers of the campfire, and picked up whatever they could find that might help them rescue their fallen friend. A fire poker, a fishing pole, a corkscrew, a gas canister, and a lighter. One of the Space Rangers hopped up onto a picnic table and found a multi-tool. He pulled out a spoon from it and smiled. Then there came a pinging sound from a nearby laptop. The Buzz with the spoon focused on its screen. His eyes widened. On the ground below, the other Buzzes approached the tent with all the stealth they could muster. The Space Rangers heard the mother reading a bedtime story to the children. The lead Buzz silently unzipped one of the tent flaps. When the toys looked inside, they saw one of the kids holding their captured friend tenderly. He saw his would-be rescuers and smiled. It was a look of pure contentment. He wanted to stay. The other Buzzes returned the same warm smile. The mother continued reading the bedtime story, and the Space Rangers were confused. They had come to the campsite expecting a rescue mission, yet here they were, sitting near human children, enjoying a story and listening to their laughter. For a moment, it was as though something deep inside them was drawing the Buzzes toward a more important mission, but they didn't know what it could be. Suddenly, the toys' chest lights began to glow as the Buzz with the spoon whispered, "Sir." Their captured friend gave a nod of reassurance. Then the figures left the tent to crowd around the Eggman Electronics Ladybug laptop on the picnic table. The screen displayed the face of a red-headed cowgirl. The high-tech Buzzes looked at the picture in awe, their attention drawn to the cowgirl's sheriff badge. "Star Command," the Buzzes said in unison. "Star Command! Star Command! Star Command!" The Buzzes began typing on the laptop to retrieve the coordinates. Then the lead Buzz pointed to the map on the screen. "Star Command," the Buzzes said. The following morning, Bonnie woke up and reached for her Lily on their charger. But when the girl tried to turn on the device, the screen remained dark. "No, no, no," Bonnie cried anxiously. "Dad! Dad!" "What?" her dad asked, appearing in the doorway. "What is it?" "Lily's not working. I'm missing the game." "Game? What game?" "Turtle Tag," Bonnie said. "Kara, Chelsea, and Heidi play it every morning. I can't miss it, Dad." Buzz and Woody watched from the shadows beneath the bed as Bonnie's dad's hand appeared, searching for the power cord for Lily's charger. "It's okay," he said, trying to reassure her. "I plugged it back in. We just need to wait for it to charge." Bonnie appeared even more anxious than before. "But it's not okay. I'm gonna miss the game." "Sweetie, there's nothing we can do for now," her dad said, leading Bonnie to the kitchen. "Let's go get you some breakfast." When the coast was clear, Buzz and Woody slipped out from under the bed. "Ah!" Buzz cheered. "Success!" "That's phase 1, Woody declared. "And now, phase 2, the Space Ranger and the cowboy said at the same time as they exchanged annoyed looks. "I thought I was going to initiate," Woody started to say. "I initiate phase 2, Buzz said definitively. "We thumb wrestled over this." "All right," Woody conceded. "Fine." Buzz dashed off while Woody stared at the charging symbol on Lily's screen. "And then we'll have a little talk with our froggy friend," Woody said, grinning. Blaze was still sleeping as the sun came up, unaware of the muffled beeps coming from inside her closet. Jesse was still playing Pick the Poop on Smarty Pants. The device was on his back, and Jesse just stood on top of him, jumping up and down on the buttons with her feet. "I hate this game," Smarty Pants said, wincing with every footstep. "Please make it stop." But Jessie was enthralled. She didn't want to stop playing. "Again, again, again," Jessie chanted. I think you need a break," Snappy started. "I can't feel my buttons," Smarty Pants muttered. Bullseye guided Jessie away as Snappy and Atlas pulled Smarty Pants up. "Just one more time," Jessie insisted. "One more, come on." Hey, Atlas said. "That's enough play for now." "Play? Ha!" Jessie laughed. "That's just a game. That's not playing." Smarty Pants gave the cowgirl a curious look. "What's the difference?" "You know, real play," Jessie said. The devices simply stared at the sheriff. Jessie and Bullseye couldn't believe it. "You're kidding, right? You've never been seen Blaze play with a toy? Jessie asked. The devices shook their heads. How long were you guys with her? It turned out that the devices had only been with Blaze for a matter of months. Months? Jessie said with a surprise. What, too long? Snappy asked. Too short, Jessie replied sadly. Aw, guys, you missed all the fun. Hey, we're fun, Smarty Pants argued while Snappy gasped, offended. I mean fun, Jessie clarified. Make-believe fun. The cowgirl opened the closet door slowly, just enough so everyone could see Blaze fast asleep in her bed. Just look at her, Jessie said. Oh yeah, she plays. Prove it, Smarty Pants shot back. Okay, Smarty Pants, Jessie said teasingly. She gave Bullseye a look and said, We will. Blaze woke up to Jimmy Dean sniffing her hand with his snout. Morning, Jimmy, Blaze said. Ready for breakfast? She sat up in bed and reached for her boots, but sticking out from each were Jessie and Bullseye. Blaze gasped. She snatched up the doll and shouted, Hey, Mom, where'd you find the cowgirl? From inside the closet, Smarty Pants and Atlas watched everything that was happening in the room via Snappy's display screen. The camera tracked Blaze as she examined the cowgirl and horse in her hands. I'll bet you 2 AA she's just tossing 'em on the bed, Smarty Pants said, sounding mighty sure of himself. I say the chair, Snappy countered. I call the floor, Atlas added. Meanwhile, Blaze pulled the string on Jessie's back. I ain't afraid of nothing, partner, came the pre-recorded sound from the cowgirl. Blaze laughed. Then she pulled the string again. Yee-haw, let's play. A look of delight flickered across the girl's face. Blaze put Jessie and Bullseye on the floor, then gathered some of the model horses, placing them on either side of the dolls. Smarty Pants watched, confused. Wait a minute, he said. Nay, Blaze said, making a horse sound. Jessie gave the devices a quick thumbs up while Bullseye winked. I don't believe it, Smarty Pants said. Blaze is actually gonna play. The devices watched in awe as Blaze reached one more for the cowgirl and the horse. Here we go, Blaze cheered. Suddenly, Jessie and Bullseye entered Blaze's world of imagined play, where fancy waltz music filled the air. Jessie found herself wearing a beautiful dress as horses danced on their hind legs nearby. Bullseye stood next to Jessie, and he spoke. Milady Davenport, Bullseye announced. I present Her Royal Highness, Jimmy Queen. Jessie looked forward and saw the pig, Jimmy Dean, dressed as a Regency-era monarch. Clearing her throat, Jessie said, Your Highness, how kind of you to invite me to your royal ball. Jimmy Queen wandered off mid-sentence, sniffing. Your Highness? Jessie asked. Your Highness? Jessie asked, her eyes following the princess. Back in Blaze's real room, Jimmy Dean had trotted over to the closet. The pig pushed his snout out inside, snorting. Jimmy, this is your big moment, Blaze called out. Jessie grew worried. What would happen if Blaze found the devices? Curious, Blaze looked at her pig and asked, What you got there, Jimmy? She looked inside the closet and pulled out Smarty Pants, Atlas, and Snappy. Whoa, I can't believe I still have these, she said. Blaze stopped for a moment, then added, Wait a minute. The girl smiled and picked up Jessie. Back in Blaze's imagination, Jessie found herself waltzing with one of the model horses during a grand ball. Then came a crackling sound. She had a secret earpiece. Through it, she heard Snappy's voice say, Heads up, your suitor's approaching now. Blaze had brought the tech trio into the scene. Before Jessie could react, Smarty Pants appeared, dressed in a tuxedo, a huge pile of impeccably combed hair atop his head. So we meet again, Agent Sheetland, Jessie said as she began dancing with Smarty. It's pronounced Shetland, Smarty Pants replied. That's what I said. Well, Agent Clydesdale, or should I say Lady Davenport, have you spotted it yet? Smarty Pants asked. You mean the bomb? Jessie asked. Yes. Shh, quiet. Touching her earpiece, Jessie whispered, Snappy, do you have eyes on it? The camera, decked out as a spy in a black beanie, scanned the room from her hiding place in a chandelier that hung over the dance floor. Her lens came to rest on a serving trolley displaying a stuffed pig with an apple in its mouth. Only it wasn't really a stuffed pig, it was Atlas. Atlas, do you copy? Snappy said over their comms. Atlas spat on the apple and warned, Agents, the bomb is right on top of you. He opened his mouth to show a radar screen, featuring a blinking red dot right in the center. Where? Jessie cried. Mah! Came an evil laugh. Where you never suspected, Agent Clydesdale. Bullseye, looking very much like a villain, pushed his way past the crowd of attendees. He was holding a small box. He pressed a red button inside the box and jumped out the window, laughing as he escaped. But where's the bomb? Jessie shouted from the window. A beeping sound filled the air as Jessie spun around. Her eyes darted back and forth until they landed on Sticky Hand, who was ripping open Smarty Pants' shirt to reveal a timer on his screen. It was counting down from 2 minutes. Smarty Pants screamed in fear. Back in Bonnie's room, Lily Pad groggily opened her eyes and saw Woody standing on the edge of the bed. She tried to remove herself from her charging cradle, but wasn't strong enough. Her battery level was too low. What happened? Lily stammered. What did you do to my battery? What we'll do again if you don't tell us what happened to Jessie and Bullseye, Woody threatened. What time is it? Lily asked. A clock appeared briefly on her screen and she gasped. Oh, no, this is not good. The girls got a head start on Turtle Tag without Bonnie. Somehow, Lily was able to boot up the Turtle Tag game with an active chat window between Bonnie's new friends. There's been 1, 2, 3 inside jokes already. This is a disaster. Woody poked the screen. Enough with the silly games. Where's Jessie and Bullseye? Silly? Lily protested. This is serious. Stuffalo Bill. Bonnie is missing out. Woody was offended. Stuffalo Bill. Want to make friends? This is how she'll make friends, Lily explained. Now keep your little plastic hands away from me or I will set off my alarm. Thought you'd say as much, Woody retorted. Buzz, bring in Sammy too. Buzz poked his head over the edge of the bed. He was carrying Bonnie's pet salamander. Lily saw the reptile and activated her alarm, but Buzz pressed the mute button on the screen with one of Sammy 2's feet. Unlike a plastic toy hand, the reptile's foot worked, silencing the alarm. Then a message popped up on Lily's screen. New pond posting by Horse Girl. Horse Girl, Buzz called. She's talking about Jessie. Buzz went to open the message, but Lily's battery had hit a 50% charge. The device leaped up and tackled Woody, Buzz, and Sammy 2. The toys and reptile were stuck under the screen when Sammy 2's body accidentally unmuted Lily. The salamander ran off as Lily righted herself, towering over Woody and Buzz. She deleted the message. Enjoy the garage, suckers, she gloated, sounding her alarm again. No, Woody shouted. Wait, hey, Buzz added. Lily, Woody yelled. There was a ping, and Lily froze. A pre-recorded message played. Yes, I can help you. Buzz approached Lily cautiously, her screen blinking. It was like she was stuck or something. Lily, bring back that horse girl post, Buzz directed. Lily's eyes brimmed with anger. She didn't want to do it, but she was pre-programmed to be helpful. She groaned. But what came out of her speakers was a happy pre-recorded voice that said, okay. The message reappeared on screen. She has to do what you say, Woody said. Then just as quickly as she had frozen, Lily unfroze. She jumped at Woody and Buzz, trying to escape. Once more, she set off her alarm. But having learned Lily's weakness, Woody and Buzz shouted, Hey Lily, shut off your alarm. The alarm cut out. Open that post, Buzz ordered. Okay, came the cheerful voice from Lily as she glared at the toys with fiery eyes. The message opened, revealing a picture of Jessie and Bullseye along the words, Found Toys. Jessie, Buzz gasped. Though she had to obey, Lily could still move, and move she did. evading Buzz and Woody so they couldn't get a good look at her screen. "Bonnie's got to see this," Woody said. "Show her again. Where is she?" Buzz demanded. "Hey, Lily, show the post. Share it. Share it everywhere." "Hey, Lily, share," Woody echoed. Against her will, Lily did exactly that. A message popped up on screen and said, "Send all." "We did it," Buzz cheered, though he had no idea exactly what they had done. "So where did it go?" Woody wondered. But Lily continued to wrestle with them. She threw Buzz and Woody to the floor, and they slid toward Bonnie's bedroom door. The two toys looked out onto the hall and saw the printer. It was printing out Horse Girl's message. The printout fell onto the floor, not far from Bonnie, who was walking back to her room. "Bonnie, you haven't finished your breakfast yet," her mom called. "No, I'm done," the girl yelled over her shoulder as she continued down the hall. "I'm missing Turtle Tag, Mom. They're playing without me." Buzz and Woody saw Bonnie. Any moment, she would see the paper with Horse Girl's message. But Lily had another trick up her screen. She turned on the app that controlled the family's robot vacuum device and plotted a route through the house. Suddenly, the robot vacuum zoomed past Bonnie. Then it sucked up and shredded the printout. A triumphant Lily sat back as the toy scowled. "Well, what now, deputy?" Buzz asked. "Well, you're the deputy," Woody replied. Bonnie came back into the room, unknowingly squishing Buzz and Woody behind her bedroom door. The girl picked up Lily and started to play Turtle Tag. Lily had won, or so the toys thought. There came a knock as Bonnie's mom entered the room. "What's this all about, Bonnie?" she asked. Her mom showed Bonnie her phone screen with Horse Girl's message. "Huh?" Bonnie replied. Behind the door, Buzz and Woody high-fived each other. "So why did you put her toys in the garage?" Bonnie's mom asked. Her dad reached up to the shelf to grab the box that he had placed there earlier. "Because Bonnie asked me to," he said. Then he turned to his daughter and said, "Remember, sweetie?" "No," Bonnie said, distracted. He put the box on the ground, and Bonnie started to dig through it. "They're gone," she cried. "She really does have Jessie and Bullseye. I hope they're okay." In Blaze's imagined ballroom, most of the guests had left, but Jessie remained, along with Snappy and Atlas. Smarty Pants was on the floor, the countdown on his screen reading 5 seconds. Jessie held her hands just above Smarty Pants' number 1 and number 2 buttons. "Okay, we've gotten the Queen to safety," Snappy said. "Yes, you can do this, Agent Clydesdale," Smarty Pants encouraged. "One of these buttons diffuses the bomb." "But which one, Agent Sheetland?" Jessie cried. "Shet, it's Shet," Smarty Pants hollered. Jessie was just about to press number 1 when she hesitated and pressed number 2 instead. The countdown hit 0 seconds. Back in the reality of Blaze's bedroom, the girl made massive explosion sounds. She scattered the toys everywhere, toppling horses. Blaze even tackled Jimmy Dean to the floor. "Blaze, hon, it's time to feed Daffodil," her mom shouted. "Okay," Blaze giggled. "Come on, Your Majesty." Blaze hurried out of her room and down the stairs with the pig trouting behind her. Jessie and the other toys remained still until the girl was out of sight. Then everyone jumped up. Atlas and Snappy were laughing. "Holy cow," Atlas cried. "I was a spy." "That was so cool," Snappy gushed. Jessie heard someone sniffling. It was Smarty Pants. "Smarty," she said softly. "That was so beautiful," Smarty Pants sniffed. "That, my friend, was playing," Jessie explained. "Is that what being a toy is like?" Smarty Pants asked. "I had no idea, Sheriff." "Well, yeah, it's..." "Wait," Jessie replied, facing Smarty Pants. "Hold up. You never called me Sheriff before. In a nice way." "Well, now I get it," Smarty Pants exclaimed. "I told y'all," Jessie hollered. "Blaze really is perfect for Bonnie. Playing with her feels just the same." "Your kids play like that too?" Smarty Pants asked. "Yep, she's amazing." There was a loud ping as a text message appeared on Smarty Pants' screen. Bonnie Pooh texted, "Do you really have my toys?" There was a collective gasp in the room. "It's her! It's her!" Smarty Pants cheered. "She saw the post! It's Bonnie!" The other toys encouraged Jessie to text the girl back. The sheriff stared at the blinking cursor on the screen. Across town, Bonnie stared at Lily's screen, waiting anxiously for a reply to her message. Lily looked back at Bonnie and realized just how nervous the girl seemed to be. Bonnie's mom was next to her daughter and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. And unseen by all, Buzz and Woody watched from behind a door. Bing! Bonnie read the incoming message. Horse Girl texted, "Yes, do you still want them?" In Blaze's room, Jessie held her breath while staring at the blinking cursor and waiting for an answer. Finally, there was a reply. Bonnie Boo replied, "Yes," with an exclamation mark. And she said and texted, "My mom wants your address. We will come get them." The tech trio cheered, and Jessie exhaled at last. "She's coming!" the cowgirl shouted. "Bonnie's coming here!" "I knew she would. I just knew she would," Snappy repeated. Jessie nuzzled Bullseye's muzzle and said, "Blaze and Bonnie are gonna meet." In Bonnie's garage, the box of toys still sat on the ground. "So what's going on?" Ham asked. "Slink, talk to me," Trixie said. The dinosaur toy wiggled Slinky Dog's back half. His coil wobbled in waves, stretching across the garage door to the house. There, the dog's front half was trying to poke his head through the slightly open door and listen. "Hard to hear," Slinky Dog called back. "Lot of commotion." "I bet they're arguing over getting rid of us," Mr. Potato Head said. Are we getting donated?" Rex said in a panicked voice. Donuts," Karen Beverly added. "No, sweetie," Forky corrected her. "Donated." "Shh, quiet," the dog barked. "I hear something, like tiny footsteps. It's kind of cute. Yow!" Suddenly, Buzz and Woody burst through the door, frightening Slinky Dog. He let go of the door and his coil yanked his front half across the garage to meet his back half, smashing into the cardboard box full of toys. "Look out!" Buzz shouted. "Bonnie's coming," Woody warned. The Space Ranger and the cowboy hid under the 2 wooden steps that led into the garage just as Bonnie and her mom entered and got into the car. Buzz and Woody saw that Bonnie had taken Lily with her. The 2 deputies looked at each other. "All right," Woody said. "Buzz, you gotta stay here. I'm going with them." "Why? Why just you?" Buzz asked. "Look, I just have more field experience than you. That is all," Woody exclaimed. The garage door opened, letting in light from outside. "You don't think I can do it?" Buzz retorted. "No, I just think I can do it a little bit better." "You don't deserve this," the Space Ranger said as he tore the star sticker from Woody's chest and smacked it on his own. Now he had 2 stars. "Buzz, come on, I was only—" "Jessie put me in charge," Buzz declared. "Which is why you should stay here and watch the room," Woody said as the car was starting. Buzz gave Woody a serious look. "There's no room without Jessie." The Space Ranger ran after the car as it pulled out of the garage. "Buzz, no!" Woody called as he sprinted to catch up. The 2 toys hopped onto the car's rear bumper. A gust of wind caught Buzz's second star sticker, and it blew away. Buzz gave Woody a hard look. Behind them, the garage door closed. "It's so good to see them fighting again," Mr. Potato Head said. "It sure is," Slinky Dog agreed. "How did your toys get all the way out here?" Bonnie's mom asked as they drove along the country road. "I don't know," Bonnie replied. She was looking at her lily pad when it pinged a couple of times. There were messages from her new friend group. Each one had the Found Toys picture of Jessie and Bullseye attached. The picture and message had been shared with her friends, too. Bonnie felt sick to her stomach as she read the notes. Heidi texted, "What's this, Bonnie?" Chelsea texted, "I got it, too." And Kara texted, "Lost your toys, Bonnie?" Chelsea texted, "How many do you have?" Heidi texted, "Poor baby." Then Kara texted, "Ha ha." Chelsea texted, "Ha ha ha." And Heidi texted, "Ha ha ha ha." The color drained from Bonnie's face. From her vantage point on the windowsill, Snappy saw a car coming up the road. It had to be Bonnie's. She took a picture of the girl sitting in the back seat, then jumped down to where Jessie, Bullseye, Smarty Pants, and Atlas were waiting. She's here, Snappy whispered, sharing her screen with Jessie. That's her, Jessie exclaimed. That's Bonnie. The cowgirl hugged her horse. Bullseye, she's really here. Bonnie's mom parked the car outside Blaze's house and turned in her seat to see Bonnie's eyes glued to Lily's screen. Bonnie, come on, let's go, she urged. The girl reluctantly exited the car, still holding on to Lily. Buzz and Woody were clinging to the bumper, covered in car exhaust and dirt from the drive. Buzz, Woody said, listen, But Buzz continued to ignore the cowboy. He leaped off the bumper and followed Bonnie and her mom toward the house. Woody shook his head and hopped off, running after Buzz. Upstairs, Jessie prepared to say goodbye to her new friends. Thanks, fellas, she said as Bullseye licked the tech trio's faces. Pretty glad I met you devices. Don't be dumping on us. You can't flush, Smarty Pants joked. The doorbell rang and Jessie gasped. It's her! The toys and devices ran over to the top stair and looked down. Hello? Can I help you? Blaze's mom asked, opening the door. Hi, Bonnie's mom said. I'm so sorry to bother you, but... She showed Blaze's mom the message on her phone. We got this message from your daughter. She seems to have found my daughter's toys. Oh, okay, Blaze's mom replied. Outside, Buzz watched their exchange as Woody ran over. Are they in there? The cowboy asked. Buzz raised his hand, indicating for Woody to stop talking. I'll have her get them, Blaze's mom said. Then, calling into the house, she said, Blaze, honey. Yeah, the girl yelled back. Can you bring down those 2 rag dolls you found? Their owner's here. Really? Okay. Blaze ran upstairs and grabbed Jessie and Bullseye, who had flopped on the floor. The cowgirl gave Smarty Pants a wink, while the device gave her a thumbs-up emoji. Blaze hurried down the stairs and appeared at the door, holding Jessie and Bullseye. Bonnie stood next to her mom, unsure of what to make of Blaze. Blaze, this is... Blaze's mom started. Bonnie was too shy to answer, so her mom replied, This is Bonnie. Hello, Bonnie, Blaze's mom said kindly. Blaze held up Jessie and Bullseye and asked, Are these your toys? Something in Bonnie seemed to change. She stepped back and straightened up as she looked at Lily's screen. The crying baby messages taunted her. I don't play with toys anymore, Bonnie declared. It's just that they're antiques. Bonnie's mom looked at her daughter. She had never heard anything like that from Bonnie before. Picking up on Bonnie's embarrassment, Blaze said, They do look pretty old. Must be worth something at least, right? The girl held out the toys once more. Bonnie didn't even look at them. No, they're not, Bonnie decided. You should keep them. Buzz and Woody couldn't believe what they were hearing. Neither could the tech trio. Even Lily was surprised. Bonnie, you don't want them? Bonnie's mom asked, concerned. Are you sure? But Bonnie was already walking back to the car. I don't know what's come over her, Bonnie's mom said. I'm so sorry to have bothered you. I understand, Blaze's mom replied. Blaze watched the girl leave and called out, If you ever change your mind, Bonnie, just let me know. The whole time Jessie lay limp in Blaze's hand. The memory of Emily driving away all those years before flashed in her mind. I don't get it, Woody whispered. What just happened? Buzz didn't say anything. He just kept watching. As Bonnie's mom followed her daughter back to their car, she asked, What is going on? Bonnie kept quiet as she climbed into her seat. Lily could see the sad look on the girl's face. The look made Lily worried. Okay, I guess we're going, Bonnie's mom said, and they drove off. Blaze returned to her room with Jessie and Bullseye. She set the dolls on her desk and then left. Jessie popped up and grabbed hold of Bullseye, dragging the horse off the desk. Come on, Bullseye, quick, before they drive away, Jessie cried. The 2 dolls fell to the floor. Jessie got up, pulling on Bullseye. It's too late for me, Bullseye, the cowgirl urged. But maybe not for you. Please, not for you. Bullseye had no idea what Jessie was talking about. The horse looked into her eyes and saw tears forming. Smarty Pants, Atlas, and Snappy entered the room, all with worried looks. "Sheriff?" Smarty Pants asked. "Jessie, are you okay?" Snappy added. "What just happened?" Atlas wondered. "She ditched you, Jessie," Smarty Pants said sadly. "Because of you," Jessie snapped, whirling around to take out her hurt. "Because of all you darn devices. Making kids act older. You stole all our time. I wanted to make a difference. I needed to make a difference, and you ruined it." Jessie then pushed Smarty Pants and the device fell over. The cowgirl realized what she had done and immediately felt ashamed. I'm sorry," Jessie gasped as Snappy, Atlas, and Bullseye helped Smarty Pants. Then she climbed up to the open window. "Jessie?" Snappy asked, worried. The cowgirl looked out the window at a tire swing hill on the horizon. She saw Daffodil down below, gazing in the pasture. She whistled. Daffodil looked up at the window and saw Jessie. Sheriff?" Smarty Pants said. I'm sorry, Smarty," Jessie said, apologizing again. "It's not you. I'm the one that's useless." Bullseye raced across the room, but before he could reach his friend, Jessie jumped down to where Daffodil was below, climbed up the horse, and rode off towards Tire Swing Hill. Without missing a beat, faithful Bullseye jumped out the window and followed. Buzz ran down towards the steps leading to Blaze's house, with Woody not far behind. "Poor Jessie," Buzz sighed, his heart breaking. "Gotta find a way in." "Buzz, where are you going?" Woody asked. "Let's talk about this." But Buzz moved ahead without him. Woody hung his head. How had everything gone so wrong? Suddenly he saw a little red laser dot surrounding him. Woody looked up to find a legion of Buzz Lightyears emerging from the grass. Guys?" Woody uttered, confused why the Buzzes were swarming him. Then everything went black. The next thing Woody remembered was the sound of snorting. He was inside a barn, tied up and hanging upside down. Below him, a pig munched on Woody's poncho, pulling it off the cowboy's body. "What's going on?" Woody gasped. "My poncho!" Woody saw that a few of the Buzzies held on to the other end of the rope that kept him suspended. Other Buzzes surrounded the pen, standing on the ledge above, looking at him with judgment in their eyes. "Quiet, assassin," the lead high-tech Buzz barked. "Assassin? No, I can't. Buzz," Woody tried to explain. The assembled action figures mumbled among themselves. "How do you know who we are?" the lead Space Ranger demanded. "Who sent you?" Unknown to Woody, his friend Buzz had entered the barn, hiding among the others. He peeled off his star sticker to blend in. "Talk," the high-tech Buzz repeated as the others lowered Woody closer to Jimmy Dean. "Talk about what?" Woody yelled. "What am I supposed to know?" "You bear a holster," the lead Buzz observed. "You were positioned outside our leader's stronghold. You are an agent of Zurg." "Zurg? No," Woody protested. "Hey, I don't even know who your leader is." The Buzzes led the rope and let it slip a little more, and Woody dipped closer to the pig. Woody cried as the pig snorted his face. "Liar," the lead Space Ranger thundered. "You wish to harm the red-haired maiden who bears the mark of Star Command?" "Jessie?" Bonnie's Buzz whispered. "No!" Woody shouted. "Wait," his friend Buzz called as he stepped out from the sea of other Buzzes. He pointed at Woody and said, "He is not an agent of Zurg." The Buzzes muttered as the lead high-tech Buzz said, "Well then, who is this old man?" By now Jimmy Dean was licking Woody's face. "Why do you people keep saying that?" Woody moaned. "I'm not that old." "This old man is a toy," Bonnie's Buzz explained. The Buzzes reacted with surprise. "Toy? A toy?" He had said a toy? "Yes, that's what I'm feeling. I've been dreaming about that," they murmured. "Yes, we are all toys," he continued. "Our mission on this planet is to make a child happy, to play. To play! To play! To play?" the Buzzes said. The high-tech Buzz Lightyears exchanged looks, and their eyes seemed to accept the truth of the other Buzz's words. Meanwhile, Jimmy Dean tried to put Woody's head in his mouth. "Search your feelings, Buzz," Bonnie's Buzz said. "You know it to be true, and the red-haired maiden you seek is our toy leader. Her name is Sheriff Jessie." "Sheriff Jessie?" the Space Ranger said in unison. Bonnie's Buzz pointed toward Blaze's home and said, "Sheriff Jessie is trapped inside that stronghold. We must infiltrate it and rescue her and her trusty steed." "How do you all know this?" one of the Buzzes asked. Because I am her deputy," Bonnie's Buzz replied as he put his star sticker back on his chest. The other Buzzes saluted and said, "Star command." "Then this old man is a toy?" the lead high-tech Buzz asked. Woody was trying to say something, but no one could hear him because his head was entirely inside Jimmy Dean's mouth. "Oh yeah, him," Buzz said. "He's my sidekick. You can untie him, by the way. Everybody, Zurg is our dad." "No!" the Space Ranger screamed. "Yeah," Buzz replied. Meanwhile, Blaze sat in the kitchen with her mom. Neither noticed Buzz and Woody, who had sneaked out into the house, head up the stairs with a gaggle of Buzz Lightyear figures. "Hey, what's on your mind?" Blaze's mom asked. "I don't know," Blaze said. "I just hope that girl is okay." "She'll be fine, sweetie," her mom replied. "Don't you worry." Suddenly, Blaze's dad came running down the stairs. "Hey guys, is anyone hungry?" All at once, Buzz, Woody, and the other Buzzes dropped off their stair edges, doing the best to camouflage themselves against the wall. Me, Blaze called. "Can we get pasta, Prairie, Baba?" "Oh, I like the way you think," her dad answered. With the family distracted once more, Buzz motioned for everyone to continue up the stairs. They searched the dad's office but found no sign of Jessie. There was no trace of her in the hallway or bathroom either. Blast! Where could she be? Buzz wondered as he huddled up with Woody and the other Space Rangers. A moment later, a trio of devices were led into the center of the group by several Buzzes. "Commander, we found these electronic devices," the Buzzes said. "Hands off!" Smarty Pants snapped as a Wi-Fi icon popped up on his screen. "Whoa, I'm getting a major signal from all you dudes." "I've got full bars," Snappy added. "Me too. I can map for miles," a Happy Atlas chimed in. Sticky Hand then tapped the glowing button on the closest Buzz. It turned into a display screen, showing a Wi-Fi symbol. At the same time, all the high-tech Buzz figures' buttons turned into display screens showing the same icon. "These guys are their own hotspot," Smarty Pants declared. "Oh no, they're one of them," Woody said with dread. "They're one of us," Smarty Pants cheered. "Nice." Sticky Hand tried to tap the chest of Bonnie's Buzz, but nothing happened. "Hey, this one's broken," Smarty Pants remarked. "Where are you hiding Jessie, you machine?" Buzz asked in a harsh voice. "Easy there," Smarty Pants said. "We're Jessie's friends," Snappy added. "And I have a name. It's Smarty Pants, hygiene instructor." "This is serious, Mr. Pants," Buzz said. "It is my sworn duty as a Space Ranger." "Haha," Smarty Pants chuckled. "You said duty." Woody stepped in. "Clearly we're all friends with Jessie, so can you just tell us where she is?" "She went to Tire Swing Hill," Snappy exclaimed. "It's the far end of the ranch." "Well, we'll need a way to get there," Buzz said, determined. "Commander Lightyear," multiple Buzzes called. Buzz and Woody looked over as some of the Buzzes opened the door to Blaze's bedroom, revealing the large collection of model horses. "Oh my," Woody sighed out of the sight. A glittery winged Pegasus was among them. The beautiful creature whined, winking at Buzz. Bonnie's mom pulled their car into the parking lot of an ice cream shop and looked back at her daughter, who was staring at Lily. "Bonnie," her mom asked, "did something happen with your friends?" The girl bit her lip and then nodded slowly. "Can you show me?" her mom said tenderly. An anxious look crossed Bonnie's face. "You're not in trouble, Bonnie, I promise." She handed Lily over to her mom to see the messages. Bonnie's eyes glistened, tears forming. Her mom gave the lily pad back to Bonnie. The device looked at the girl, watching the heartbroken child cry. "Oh, sweetie," Bonnie's mom sighed. "You know that you can always talk with me and Dad, right? About anything, because we love you, Bonnie, so much." Lily saw Bonnie's mom put her hand on her daughter's cheek, comforting the girl. "I wouldn't change a single thing about you, and I think a real friend would feel the same, don't you?" The words hit Lily hard. "And how about we take a break from the group chat for now, okay?" Bonnie's mom suggested. "Let's get some ice cream." Bonnie wiped her eyes and sniffed. She picked up Lily and looked at the screen as she exited the car and sat down at an outside table while her mom got in line to order. Lily felt terrible. She saw a donation truck parked in the lot. A driver was putting some things from a nearby donation container into the back of the truck. Bonnie left the table to choose her ice cream, leaving Lily behind. The device looked back at the girl, then jumped into an open donation box. The driver loaded the box onto the truck. I'm sorry, Bonnie," Lily said quietly as the girl came back to the table, looking for Lily, and the truck drove away. Jessie sat slumped against the trunk of the large shady tree atop Tire Swing Hill. Daffodil was nearby, eating grass. An old tire, held by a weather-beaten rope, dangled overhead. The cowgirl was crying. Then she saw something moving in the grass, coming closer. Bullseye emerged, tackling Jessie, licking her. "Bullseye! You shouldn't have followed me," Jessie said. Then in a sad voice tinged with love, she added, "Oh, bad horse." Bullseye sat on the ground in front of her, wagging his tail. "You go back to Blazes, Bullseye," Jessie urged. "You're better off." But Bullseye wouldn't leave. He just scooted closer to the cowgirl. "Bullseye, no," Jessie protested. "I'm not going with you. I can't do this again. I can't love another kid just to find out I never mattered. I can't." Jessie looked at Bullseye and saw that he was staring up at something behind her. She turned and saw the words, "Jessie was here," carved into the tree, with an arrow pointing down. "I didn't write that," Jessie said. "It must have been." The sheriff followed the arrow down to the dirt where she saw a glimmer of metal. Smoothing the dirt away, Jessie discovered what looked like an old cowboy lunchbox. "Emily?" Jessie gasped. Jessie whistled for Daffodil to come over, and the horse started digging with a hoof. Several scrapes later, the lunchbox was uncovered. Jessie opened the lid and looked inside. Wait, this ain't stuff from Emily. It's newer," Jessie said. "Doesn't make any sense. She wouldn't have any of this stuff. She'd be..." Bullseye nosed an old picture in the lunchbox, and Jessie picked it up. There was a woman in the photo, pushing a young girl on the tire swing, all grown up. Jessie touched the face of the woman in the photo and looked at the girl. "Wait," she said as she turned the picture over. On the back, there was some writing that said, "To my little yodeling cowgirl, love, Mom." And beneath that, it said, "Mom, Emily, daughter, Jessie, 10. "Emily named her daughter after me?" Jessie gasped. "Really?" Bullseye nodded, hugging Jessie as they looked at the picture. Then the grass in the distance began to move. Daffodil startled. The horse nearly stepped on Jessie before galloping off, kicking up dirt. When the dust finally cleared, Jessie saw a familiar cowboy riding up on a tiny toy horse. "Woody?" Jessie asked. Behind Woody, Buzz rode up atop a glittering pink Pegasus. "Buzz!" Jessie exclaimed. "Jessie!" Buzzy called. "You're okay!" What are you doing here?" Jessie asked. "We came for you, Jessie," Woody explained. "For me?" "We all did," Buzz added, gesturing toward the grass as the high-tech Buzz Lightyear figures emerged, all of them riding toy horses. Jessie was stunned to see Smarty Pants, Atlas, and Snappy join too on a large plush horse. "Well, howdy do, Sheriff," Smarty Pants bellowed. "We came bearing buzzes. Look like 50 to me, but I can only count on 2. The buzzes saw Jessie's star badge and began to whisper, "Star Command, Star Command, Star Command." They hopped off their horses and kneeled before her. All right, Bonnie's Buzz said, dismounting. "Calm down. Give her some room, fellas." Woody and Buzz explained how they had driven with Bonnie and her mom to pick up Jessie and Bullseye, and how eager the girl had been to get them back. What had happened that made her decide to give 2 of her favorite toys away? In a calm voice, Jessie said, "Look, it's okay, really, it is. Bonnie's growing up. We don't get to decide when and how that happens. And all that matters is that we were there at the right time to help her along. And I gotta believe we were. Just wish she had at least connected with Blaze." Then a thought came to Jessie. "Wait, connect! They still can! Lily Pad can do that?" The donation truck rumbled down the road, the boxes in the back bouncing along. Lily sat in one of them, sad, scared, alone, and feeling absolutely awful. Bing! There was a message, a new message from Horse Girl to Bonnie Boo. Horse Girl's text said, "L, it's Jay. We need to talk." Bing! Okay, guys, message coming through, Smarty Pants said. Everyone crowded the device, looking at his screen as they awaited the reply. Reading the message aloud, Smarty Pants said, "Jessie, I'm so sorry. Chose wrong friends. Hurt Bonnie." Smarty Pants sent a reply. Jessie said in a steady voice, "You can fix it. I know the right friend." The message was sent, and only seconds later there came a ping, a reply. "No, I can't," Smarty Pants read. "Threw myself away on a donation truck." "Jumping Jehoshaphat," the cowgirl shouted. "Now she throw herself away." The sheriff added, "We're gonna go after her, Smarty. Tell Lily to send a photo of where she is." There was another ping, and Smarty turned to show everyone a fuzzy photo taken from the back of the donation truck. "Snappy, zoom in on that blurry road sign," Jessie instructed. Smarty Pants grinned. "Look at you with the tech talk, cowgirl." Snappy zoomed in on the sign and said, "Martin Avenue." "Where's that?" Jessie asked. "On Ranch Road," Atlas called. "They're going south." Atlas had pulled up a map and zeroed in on Lily's location. "Tell Lily to keep sending photos of where she is," Jessie declared. "We're getting her back." The high-tech buzzes saluted and said, "Yes, Sheriff." Jessie was just about to mount Bullseye when her buzz leaned in and whispered, Jessie, when you have a moment, I have something I'd like to ask." "Sure thing, Deputy. Now pull my string." Yes, Sheriff," Buzz said, pulling the string. A pre-recorded voice hollered, "Yee-haw!" "Let's ride," Jessie cried as the assembled toys and devices rode off on their steeds. They would stop at nothing to save Lily. From the back of the donation truck, a frightened Lily sent photos from the vehicle's route. "She's not far," Atlas shouted. The hippo rode on the big plush horse with Smarty Pants and Snappy, alongside Jessie and the rest of the group. "If we go south 5 blocks, then east for 2, we might be able to head them off before they reach the highway." Another image appeared on Snappy's screen. "She just passed a gas station," the camera called. Smarty Pants couldn't help but laugh. "Ha! Passed gas. Sorry, had to." "We're close," Atlas declared. "Take a shortcut, down the next road to the right." The fleet of toy horses followed Atlas' direction, only to run smack into a house. The group stopped so abruptly that Woody and his little horse crashed and buzzed on his Pegasus. "I don't get it," Atlas said. "There should be a road." "Probably was a road 5 years ago," Snappy pointed out. "Old map." Recalculating, Atlas chimed in as he tried to find another route, but Jessie was staring at the front door. "No time," Jessie called. "We're going through." "Wait, what?" Buzz shouted in alarm. "Going through?" Woody exclaimed. Jesse rode Bullseye into the house as the rest followed. They raced past people distracted by devices, phones, computers, TV. In a flash, they headed out the back door. A yapping dog chased them toward a little playground and down a slide. "Whoa, whoa, whoa," Buzz shouted while the group made it to the bottom of the slide and bounced onto a trampoline. "Yee-haw!" Jesse whooped as the toys and devices were propelled over a fence. They landed in a chicken coop and exited through a gap in the fence. With Jesse at the front, they all galloped down a 2-lane road. Snappy zoomed in on something and said, "The truck! I see it up ahead!" Jesse gave the group signal, rode Bullseye even faster as they fell in behind the donation truck, which slowed as it entered a construction zone. "Follow me," Jesse called. "Yes, Sheriff," the buzzers replied. They all galloped toward the edge of the road, up on the sloping concrete wall. They went higher and higher until Jesse and Bullseye jumped into the back of the donation truck. The other toys and devices were right behind Jesse, and they piled into the truck. Jesse began searching through boxes to find Lily as their friends, old and new, helped. "Hey, Lily," Buzz and Woody said at the exact same time. A pre-recorded voice said, "Yes, can I help you?" Woody and Buzz tracked Lily's voice until they finally found the box she was in. The friends freed Lily, but she looked like she was in shock. Woody noticed a crack in her screen. "Lily, it's okay, we gotcha," Jesse assured her. "You shouldn't have come, Jesse," Lily protested. "Nuh-uh. No time for pity parties, Lily," Jesse replied. "Bonnie still needs you to make a friend." Lily couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Me? But Jesse pulled up the group chat on her screen. "I made a major miscalculation with Kara, Chelsea, and Heidi. You were right. Bonnie is different. She deserves better." "Lily, you didn't know these girls were wrong for Bonnie," Jesse said, "but I found the right friend." A sense of hope returned to Lily as she asked, "You did?" "Yep. So how about you and me connect them?" "Okay," Lily agreed, still unsure. "But first, we got to get everyone off this truck and back home," Jesse bellowed. "There's got to be something we can do where you got all these fancy buzzes." Jesse was right. With the help of the high-tech Buzz Lightyears, everyone was able to get safely off the truck. "Yee-haw!" Jesse hollered as she turned to Lily. "So we're clear on the plan. Once you're at Bonnie's, you send the message. Blaze will bring me and Bullseye to the house, and this time they connect." "But Jesse," Lily interrupted, "what if Bonnie rejects you again?" "If they become friends, it's all worth it," Jesse said. "Yes, Sheriff," Lily agreed. Lily, Woody, and Buzz split off from the group as Jesse, Bullseye, and the tech trio began to head back to Blaze's. But before they went, Buzz looked back and called to Jesse. "I can't lose you again. Just listen to me," Buzz pleaded. "What I've been trying to ask you is, will..." No matter how he tried, Buzz couldn't find the words. Somehow this made him even more endearing to Jesse, who just smiled as she pulled the Space Ranger close for a kiss. The sheriff cupped Buzz's chin with her hand and said, "You're stuck with me, deputy." She smoothed the star sticker down on his spacesuit, and then they went their separate ways. As Woody, Lily, and Buzz headed back to Bonnie, Lily said, "Cheer up, boys. She'll be back. We have a plan." Night had fallen by the time Buzz, Woody, and Lily returned to Bonnie's house with the help of the high-tech Buzz figures. Bonnie had already gone to her room and right to bed, still crying. Buzz threw a salute to the Space Rangers and said, "Men, you know your mission." "Yes, Commander," the Buzzes replied, returning the salute as they departed. Woody, Buzz, and Lily headed to the garage, where they found Bonnie's box of toys still on the ground. "Woody, Buzz," the toys cried. When they noticed the device, they said, "What, Lily? Oh, no. What's she doing here?" Rex wondered nervously. "She's one of us, guys," Woody declared. "Deal with it." "Listen up, everyone," Buzz added. "Lily and Jesse have a plan to help Bonnie." "Okay, what do you need us to do?" Slinky Dog asked. "Nothing," Lily replied as Buzz and Woody lifted her into the car. Jessie already did the hard work. Classic Jessica. All that's left for me is to press a button. The next morning, when Blaze woke up, she was too sleepy to notice the hoof prints of her model horses all along the floor of her room, leading up to the shelves. Jessie and Bullseye were back on Blaze's desk, flopped and frozen to the girl's laptop. Bing! It's up to the girls now, Jessie whispered to Bullseye. The model horses peered over the edge of the shelves, eagerly watching as Blaze read something on the laptop screen. It was a friend request from Bonnie Boo. The Bonnie Boo text said, "Hey Blaze, this is Bonnie. Can I have my toys back, please?" Jessie and Bullseye looked at each other. The plan was working. Back at Bonnie's house, the girl sat on the table, barely aware of her cereal bowl. Her dad walked into the kitchen and said, "Hey, sweetie, look what we found in the car." Bonnie saw that he was holding lily pad in his hand. She gave her father a stunned look as he passed the device to her. He gave Bonnie's shoulder a squeeze and kissed her on the head before exiting the kitchen. Bonnie opened the Dance Girls chat on Lily and glared at the crying baby image that was one of the girls from the sleepover had sent. She put Lily down on the table and leaned back in her chair, feeling worse than ever. The doorbell rang and Bonnie heard her mom answer it. Buzz and Woody looked out from Bonnie's bedroom. "Bonnie, you have a friend at the door," her mom called. Bonnie was beyond surprised when she saw Blaze at the door with her hands behind her back. Self-conscious, she sat up in her seat and picked Lily up from the table. Not knowing what to do, she started to play a game. Hi, Bonnie," Blaze said, calling into the kitchen. "I brought your dolls." "Let's try to beat our high score," a pre-recorded voice from Lilypad said. Bonnie gave the device all her attention. She felt too embarrassed from the day before to look at Blaze. "Bonnie, come say hi to your friend," her mom said. "Okay," Bonnie responding, relenting. She went to the front door with Lilypad in front of her like a shield. "That's it," Buzz whispered, watching Bonnie. Come on," Woody urged. "Hi," Blaze said again, holding up Jessie and Bullseye. "Hi," Bonnie replied. With the other girl's taunts still stinging, she looked away and said, I told you, I don't play with toys anymore." But Buzz chimed in. "I played with her a little yesterday. I like it when she's like, 'I ain't afraid of nothing, partner.'" It was like a flame inside Bonnie reignited. She looked up at Blaze and the other girl grinned back. Still, Bonnie was too shy to say anything. Sorry," Blaze said. That was weird." There was an uncomfortable pause, and then Blaze added, "All right, bye, Bonnie." Self-consciously, Blaze set Jessie and Bullseye down on the porch and waved, ready to run back to her mom's car. Jessie sat motionless, unable to say or do anything, hoping desperately that Bonnie would seize her moment. Then at last, Bonnie blurted out, "Blaze." "Yeah?" Blaze said. The girl stopped halfway to the car and turned around. Slowly, Bonnie picked up Jessie. Talking through the doll, Bonnie said in a funny voice, "I like your boots." Blaze smiled. "I really like your socks," she replied. Then she put some of her hair onto her face. "Do you like my beard, madame?" Still talking through Jessie, Bonnie said, "Very impressive." Then tipping Jessie's hat, she added, "Milady." "Yes, I'm 1 billion years old," Blaze joked. "That's why it's so glorious." The two girls giggled, then burst into a full-on laughter. Bonnie's mom and dad peeked out through the front door, happy for their daughter. Bonnie at last lowered Jessie from her face and spoke in a real voice. "Do you want to play?" "Okay," Blaze cheered, and Bonnie lit up. As they entered the house together, Bonnie asked, "Do you actually have a horse?" "Yeah," Blaze answered. "Like a real one?" Bonnie pressed. "Yes, it's real," Blaze said with a laugh. The girls brought Jessie and Bullseye inside with them. As Bonnie and Blaze ran down the hall, Jessie gave the other toys a quick look to let them know that the kids were coming. Woody went to hide, but Buzz fumbled. He froze in the hallway where Bonnie saw him. The girl then looked at Jessie in her hand. "Hey, I have an idea," Bonnie said. Bonnie went to her room with Blaze to enact an epic play scenario. In their imagination, the room became a colorful, joyful wedding ceremony for Jessie and Buzz. All the toys gathered to help the happy couple celebrate. Lily was there too. Mrs. Potato Head used Lily's screen as a keyboard as she played a beautiful song for the assembled guests. Mr. Pricklepants, dressed in his finest, stood at one end of the room as he prepared to officiate the wedding ceremony for the sheriff and the Space Ranger. Forky walked Buzz down the aisle toward Jessie. She looked at Buzz lovingly as Bullseye cried happily beside her. "Please take care of my son," Forky said weepingly. Jessie gave him a nod and then took Buzz's hands. Mr. Pricklepants cleared his throat. "Friends, we are gathered here today to witness the most wonderfulest union of Sheriff Jessie and Buzz Lightyear." The robot vacuum steered down the aisle, bearing a shiny wedding ring, bumping into each and every pew full of guests. "Now, Sheriff," Mr. Pricklepants said, "please put this ring on Buzz's itty-bitty finger and make your vows." Jessie and Buzz slid the huge ring over their arms as they crowd sighed. "Buzz," Jessie began, "will you take this ring as my pinky promise to have fun and play with you and stuff for all my days, even the hard ones?" The Space Ranger smiled warmly, took a deep breath and said, "I do." "Bonnie?" It was Bonnie's mom calling. The wedding interrupted. Bonnie and Blaze emerged from their imagined scenarios. "Have you seen my wedding ring?" Bonnie's mom asked. Both girls giggled, eyeing the wedding ring they had borrowed for the ceremony. Maybe check the bathroom," Bonnie yelled. From the window, Woody and Bo Peep watched the girls play. Suddenly, Blaze sat up as an incredible idea popped into their head. Wait. We need Blaze started to say. "Flowers from the garden," Bonnie interjected. The girls bolted from the bedroom, leaving the toys in their wedding ceremony poses. Once Bonnie and Blaze were gone, Jessie and Buzz turned to each other with their large wedding ring around their arms. The toys blushed. "Congrats, you two," Lily cheered. "Don't worry, I took plenty of photos for Smarty and the gang." "That's really sweet of you, Lily," Jessie replied, moved by her new friend's kindness. Jessie and Lily looked out the bedroom door as the cowgirl sighed. "I'm just happy she's happy," Jessie said. "Hey, when you get a chance, can you introduce me to the ring bearer?" Lily asked as she nodded to the robot vacuum. "Ha-ooga!" A moment later, Bonnie and Blaze returned to the room carrying all kinds of accessories to make this the best wedding ceremony ever. They had confetti and flowers and chains made of craft paper, too. "The wedding is on," Bonnie shouted. Once again, the room became a wonderland setting. Bonnie and Blaze decided to amp up the drama. "Buzz," Jessie said, "do you take me as your super cool sheriff wife?" "I do," Buzz yelled. "And do you take me as your handsome Space Ranger husband?" Jessie grabbed Buzz, sweeping him up in her arms. "I do," Jessie declared in her overly serious voice. Mr. Pricklepants looked at the couple and said, "Then I now pronounce you." "I object!" Everyone gasped as Trixie burst into the ceremony. "Buzz is already married," Trixie bellowed. "To me!" Trixie thundered down the aisle toward Buzz and Jessie. "This is the third time this has happened to me. How could you?" Jessie yelled at Buzz, playing along. Buzz tried to explain. "Jessie, it's not what you think." "Tell them, Buzz," Trixie demanded. "Tell them about our love." "But Trixie, that was then," Buzz said. In the real world, Blaze sat on the floor, holding Buzz, pretending to speak for him. "And this is now." Then speaking as Trixie, Blaze said, "You'll hear from my lawyers about this." Bonnie chimed in, speaking at various toys. "This is an outrage. We demand justice." Blaze then had Buzz throw a small wedding bouquet of flowers into the air. The bouquet was caught by Bo Peep. She looked at Woody, giving him a wink. Woody grinned back as he gave Buzz a big thumbs up. "Congratulations," Bo whispered. "You got this, deputy," Woody whispered, happy for his best friend. Woody and Bo then leaped down from the window into the waiting skunkmobile. The cowboy got into the driver's seat. "Well, turns out Jessie had it all handled," he said. Bo held her bouquet, as if waiting for something. Then she asked, "Woody, will you?" Woody said, freezing. "Hold these," Bo said, teasing him. She handed him the flowers. "I'll drive." A humbled Woody slid over onto the passenger seat as Bo got into the driver's seat, and they soon peeled out, tires screeching on the pavement. "Whoa!" Fierce Atlas said, followed by an "aw." "Yeah," Snappy giggled. "Look at her," Smarty Pants said. The tech trio sat in Blaze's bedroom looking at the photos from Jessie and Buzz's wedding that Lily had sent them. "Oh, I like that one," Smarty Pants added. "Okay, Buzz, with the kilt, it's so beautiful," Atlas gasped. Back in Bonnie's room, Jessie took Buzz by the hand. The two toys smiled at each other. Then Bonnie, speaking as Jessie, dropped a bombshell. "I'm moving to Palm Springs." "Oh, wait, if Trixie poisoned the wedding cake," Blaze suggested. Bonnie loved the idea. Speaking as Buzz, she said, "But Trixie, why?" Blaze as Trixie let out an evil laugh. Bonnie broke character for a moment to look at her new friend. "Hey, would you have ever wanted to sleep over?" There was an audible gasp as Blaze said excitedly, "Yes, that'd be so fun." The two girls smiled, each having met the absolute coolest, most person fun they've ever known. Blaze picked up Lily and started to take selfies with Bonnie and the toys. Then Bonnie pulled the string on Jessie's back and out came the words, "Friends forever, partner."